Blog Talk Radio.
What's up, everybody? Let's Talk Jets Radio. This is one of your hosts, Kevin Sirkin. Tyson will be joining us in about 15 or 20 minutes. He's busy kicking people's face in right now, but have no fear. The check has cleared. Thanks to everybody that's been tuning in and donating to our live streams. We have secured Ty Johnson for the full 2 hours tonight. So let's go ahead and bring him on. Ty, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Prime Time? How you doing? Yeah, Tyson called me earlier, told me that, the check was here. I had to, have my lawyer validated. Everything was good. So I am here for the duration of the night. How are you doing, bro?
I've been better, man, to be honest. But first, really quick, you guys can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Spreaker, and YouTube, as well as iTunes. Just search Let's Talk Jets Radio. Also, check out our pages for more information on how to get involved with a great cause for the Mark V. Lee Jersey City Fire Department Christmas Toy Drive. And so with that, dude, let's just get right into the game. And this is another one in a long line of games this year where it's like you struggle so hard to find any positives to take away. Yes, I understand we want the loss. Very few people, minus Steve, I think, are rooting for wins or get any kind of satisfaction out of that. But you still want to take some positives away from a loss. You want to watch some young players develop. You want to see your quarterback not get his face beaten in and, maybe, up his trade value a little bit, get your young running backs in there. Yet, Frank Gore, he returns to his role, in the lead back. The offense gets 3 points on the first drive, then they're shut out. Jamal breaks his sack record. And really, the second half was just a complete laugher. Nothing really to take away from this. So, Ty, what were your thoughts?
Hey, bro, it was. I think you cleared it all up. That game was horrible, man. There was absolutely nothing to be excited about. It was nothing to enjoy. I was sitting there wondering. I know you and Tyson were drunk as shit because there is no way you could have been happy with this. I know that Frank Gore run on first and second down just killed
man.
Tyson. So, but I don't even understand the philosophy of what's going on. You want to see, some improvement on guys get better, and it's just no growth, man. So we're kind of at that stage where there's no fixing what's going on. The running of Frank Gore, it just baffles the shit out of me. And, to me, I'm going to be honest, I think the defense quit. They looked horrible, man. Like, they looked lost. They looked like they weren't engaged. They just seemed like they didn't care. And, this has been a long-going process of what's going on all season long, and there was nothing positive about that, at all. There's nothing.
It's funny. It's funny you say that about the defense, that they looked like they didn't care. Almost like, maybe they lost some guidance, a guy that was maybe their leader. And Greg Williams, I'm not going to say everybody loved him, but certainly some of the players, I think, respected him a hell of a lot more than Adam Gase. And the thing that still bothers me is that you can go down the list in 29 games that Adam Gase has been head coach of the team. And I put out an article today on NYSF Mag if you guys want to check it out. You can go down the list of egregious errors that you would think the media would be foaming at the mouth, smelling blood, trying to get this guy out of here. The same way that they approached the Greg Williams mistake with the zero blitz last week and the way that they hammered Sam Darnold after the game on Sunday, you would think they would take that same approach at some point with the head coach who oversees the entire operation, who now 7 games, I think, this year has failed to score more than 10 points. Can you explain that?
There's no explaining it. They do what they always do. They pick and choose their battles. They pick and choose who they want to support, and this is why we have the worst beat writers in football, and it's just they prove it. They prove it every week. There's no way that you can hold this guy accountable. The first year I understand you want to give him a little bit of a pass, but there's no way possible that we're going to keep having the same zero production. This guy's an offensive genius, and we're worse in statistics in every category. This guy is averaging 3 points a game in the last we had one good game and that's it. So it's just but to be a leader is something that he lacks, and his team lacks leadership, and they show it on the field. Every statistical category we suck at. To watch our field goal kicker miss 3 field goals. To just watch Sam get murdered, and that's exactly you watching the game, you see no adjustments, you see nothing being done, you see no creativity in this offense. It's a lack, and to me it seems like Jamal Jamal Adams had the playbook. It's like he's using the same playbook he had when Jamal was there. He didn't adjust to anything. You know, that the interception that he should have caught, man. I mean, like he just stood there. So he knew the play before Sam ran it.
It's funny too, because going back, last year when Jamal was still here, there were plenty of times in training camp where Jamal was like reading the plays, calling them out to the entire defense, and Gase would even admit it, after when he was talking to the media that Jamal was all over our playbook. So it's no surprise that their defense, which was ranked dead last against the pass, pretty much shut us down this week.
But prime time, you would think that you have been, a pandemic and you had all this time to prepare that you would switch your playbook up. But I would expect that from a competent head coach. But also, man, I will say it was one shining moment. I will say this: that Marcus May interception was absolutely amazing. That was nice. That was really, really sweet, man. Other than that, man, I will say this: I'm liking what I'm saying from Braxton Berrios, man. I like the way I'm saying he's just kind of growing a little bit, but. Other than that, prime time, I don't have anything I can say positive about that game or anything I saw that really will make me feel that this is anything worth watching. I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a hard watch in the second half. It was very difficult to watch. It was very difficult to understand what was going on. But like I said, I don't want a victory per se. Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm saying even if you're not at this point a fan of Sam Darnold, and I was supporting him and defending him all year, but even if you realize that he's probably not going to be here next year, nobody can get joy out of watching that second half where he was just getting driven into the turf, play after play. I mean, it's just not even fair at that point. Take him out of the game, and this is why James Morgan should be active. This is why Cameron Clark should be active. You're 0-13. You're not playing for anything, yet we're wasting reps on Frank Gore. And a lot of these young guys, a lot of these draft picks that we invested in, they've either been injured or not on the field for whatever reason. And that's not exactly how you want to go about developing your young players. And you even talked also on adjustments, on creativity. Even a guy like Berrios who's shown you some things, what is his ceiling? Because we don't know in the Adam Gase offense. We don't know what these guys could be.
And to not have Morgan and not have I've been screaming with Clark for weeks. I've been screaming with Clark for weeks. I don't know if he's injured or what's going on with him, why he's not playing. But Morgan should be out there. But watching Sam get drilled like that, watching this kid, it's frustrating because and everyone thinks that I don't want I want us to lose, and I don't mind losing, and I'm not happy about losing. Don't trust me, I'm really not. But to watch those kind of losses, man, those hurt. When we're competitive and we're in games and we're actually, showing some functionable football, I don't have a problem with. But watching us just getting teed off and watching Geno Smith come in. When I saw Geno Smith come in, I knew the writing was on the wall. And I was like, yo, Geno's about to come in here and tear it up, bro. So it would only be fitting to see something like that. But it's hard. It's a hard loss. It's hard losing, and I understand what everyone is saying. I mean, I hate losing just as much as anyone else. I'm a diehard Jet fan, and to watch Sam regress every single week to the point to where it's time to move on. That hurts more than anything because then when we got Sam, I thought we were moving forward. Like I said, it's just been a bad decision. It's just been a lot of bad footballs and a lot of bad decisions. That's what we're left with, and we're getting prepared to finish the season off. And like I said, we have the Rams this week, so I know you guys are going to do your Friday show is really going to kill that. I can only imagine the one-liners and cuss words for that shit because it's going to be ugly as hell. But watching us just get thrown to the wall, man. It's just like getting your nuts in your zipper or something. That shit sucks. There's no scenario where you can explain that and make that good for you. So right now, man, it's ugly. It's getting uglier, and it just seems like this team is quit, especially defensively. I didn't see any effort out there. I mean, the guys were making tackles, but they look lost, man. They look lost in coverage. I mean, we're watching guys get wide open. I mean, I'm talking about nobody within 20, 40 feet of these guys. It's just crazy, man, and it's bad football.
Yeah, and, listening to Sam after the game, he just sounded completely broken, and then he did the interview with the Michael Kay show the following day. It was the same kind of thing. He's basically giving, the Adam Gase answers right now, and all the media, they recognize he's an easy target. They smell blood with him, and I forget who made the comment yesterday when Tyson and I were doing the live stream. They likened it to, a schoolyard elementary bully who, senses the easy target, a guy who's not going to fight back. He's not going to throw his teammates under the bus, yet they're going to hammer away all the tough questions. They're going to pin it all on him. They did it in the offseason saying, year 3, make or break for Sam Darnold, but it's never been a make or break season for Adam Gase. Greg Williams makes an egregious call last week with the zero blitz. He's got to get fired, all the fake outrage after that. Yet Gase has. I mean, we go through the list every single week with mishandling injuries, guys going elsewhere, and their careers take off. The number of things that are the red flags that carried over, not just here, but for Miami as well. And they don't hammer him the same way, dude. Like that's becoming the most frustrating part of this season.
Well, absolutely. I mean, with prime time, this has been going on from day one. I mean, how don't you hold a coach accountable for everything that he's done? And it's always excuses. Always, well, they'll get along. And we watch Sam just, man. I mean, prime time. I know how much you love Sam as well. To watch what this kid has went through. And the treatment of this kid by this media, man, and thinking that Trevor Lawrence just wants to come here or any coach will want this job. You got to be damn near crazy as hell to think this is a prime job. I mean, yeah, it looks good.
Well,
I mean, it's just a shit show, bro. And it's
right now, yes, but I still think this is an attractive job because of the likely number one pick, unless they screw that up in the final 3 weeks. The amount of cap space they have, and by all reports, I mean, it seems like Joe Douglas is still well respected around league circles. There's been the report that Cowher wouldn't have an issue working with him, although I know he talked to Samini and said he's probably not interested in coaching right now. Which we addressed. I don't think he's going to talk about any coaching vacancy until there's actually one out there. I know the Jets still have not fired Gase yet, so he's not going to comment on that job. But dude, I don't know, man.
I mean, first time, listen. I mean, I understand the first pick of the draft makes things a whole lot different. It's just the media, man. It's like, these guys are so phony and so fake, and watching these bullshit-ass articles week after week, man. And, never once have I heard anything bad about Gates. And they went in for a moment and tried to attack him a little bit. But it's nothing being done. It's nothing being said. It's nothing no one's held accountable. But everyone else but Adam Gates is held accountable. That's what blows my mind. Greg Williams fired immediately. Should have been gone. We didn't want him anyway. Woo. He's out of there. But with Gase, man, it just seems like it's an every week conversation of why this guy is still here. And
hopefully all of this could be a very painful lesson going forward for the next quarterback and the process that they go through for the next coaching hire to, not take phone calls from Peyton Manning or whoever else. Do an actually let football people do the search. Don't, have ownership interfere and meddle in these football decisions that they have, no clue about. Let your football people make the football decisions. Get a true CEO type in here. Open the checkbook for once, which they haven't done in about 2 decades. Do what it takes. Get your prominent guy in here. Take your quarterback. You get a fresh start. As terrible as shit is right now, and as miserable as we probably are to listen to sometimes, I know we complain pretty much 90% of this show. This could be a very quick turnaround if they handle these next few months the right way.
Oh, absolutely. But that's the scary part about this whole feeling is will they do that? Listen, a prominent coach coming in here, first pick of the draft right here, $90 million in cap money, you can definitely turn this thing around. But like you said, you have to get the right kind of coach coming in that's going to be able to handle the dysfunction in the broken system that's already been broken. The one thing about Joe Douglas I do like that he stopped the leaks. There's not no leaks coming out. Only thing that's getting leaked is what day one leaked. Anything else, it's a solid ship. But just having the right kind of coach come in is going to be one of the most important decisions that we have.
It's funny there's no leaks, but that Alex Lewis story came out, but we don't got to get into that.
No. That came out because they wanted it to come out.
No, they did. Well, their version of it came out. The other version, that didn't come from them. But listen, I know I waffle on this, and this is the last thing, and then we'll start getting to some phone calls. It still scares me a little bit that, Gase had any power at all to, fire Greg Williams, or at least to stand in front of the media and say that it was his decision, that he was involved in the process. I mean, I would say, 90% sure he's probably gone, but still in the back of your mind, like we always say, with this ownership group, you never fucking know what they might do or what they might not do. They doubled down after week 1. I'd like to think the stench of the last 12 games would be enough. The embarrassment through the national media, being shit on every which way, all of that would be enough for Woody Johnson to come back and say, hey, you got to go. But there's still always going to be that thought in the back of my mind that they're going to find a way to fuck it up.
Absolutely, and that's the one thing that scares me. No, Tyson. Prime time. What scares me more than anything is that we win a fucking game. That scares me more right now. That scares me more than anything. Like they'll find a way to win a fucking game. Yeah,
the way
that's
they looked against Seattle, like you said, the defense quit. They had no life, no energy. I mean, they were just going through the motions. Like, they didn't give a shit. And Adam Gase has not adjusted his playbook in 29 games. I mean, we've got 7 games with 10 or less points. I don't see that changing against the Rams. I don't see that changing against the Browns, the way they're running the football and the way they're playing defense. I know it didn't look good last night, but, I mean, they've been playing well. And the Patriots, I don't think Belichick's going to allow the Jets to get their first win against him. So I'm actually not worried about winning a game anymore. I think this team's hit rock bottom, and they're not coming back.
But Prof, this is the funniest thing in the world, right? This man is not adjusting his play. This man is not adjusting his playbook at all. Like, you would really think that anybody would.
He hasn't tried it. Like, he has not tried anything different. I mean, I'm not an X's and O's guy. I'm not, an expert at breaking down all this shit. But, like, you would think a kid like Sam Darnold, who thrived in, like, RPO situations, up-tempo offense at USC, you would think, like, at some point this year, when your offense can't do a goddamn thing, or at least after the first 10 plays, that you'd find some kind of ways to adjust it. And, you're talking about all these great practices that have still never translated to Sunday. Maybe try something different. But what do I know?
hey, try having a bad practice, and maybe we have a good game. But
that's what we need.
With that being said, man, let's get to the callers, man, because I know everyone is jumping at the bits. I know the phone lines are about to explode.
I think we need a bad week of practice. Maybe it'll be a good game on Sunday, although we don't want that anymore. So.
We've been needing that for a while. No. We don't. No. Hey, look, prime time. Anything that is productive, man. Like, I just want to watch good football. And last week, bro, that was probably the worst I think I've seen in a while. That was ugly, bro. That reminds me of the games last year when Sam was out. That shit was that difficult to watch. It was hard, bro. It was, I was fucked up in the third quarter, bro. I was a little buzzed. So
we all were with that bingo board. The entire thing was filled up by the third quarter.
Hey, bro, listen, that bingo game is gonna get y'all. You know what I'm saying? Right in the AA, man. We about to chip in soon, bro. Because I knew. Yeah, I put that on. I had some on Twitter. I was like, I know you guys are fucked up right now. There's no other way around that, bro. Like, there's no way that the Frank Gore run, bro, on first and second down, bro, is gonna kill. You need to take that off the bingo board, bro. That's cheating. Bro, that's like a cheat code, bro. Like, he might say that's a straight cheat code. It's a cheat code, bro. You can't win with that. You know what the playbook is. You know what he's gonna do. So
I wish there was a way. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody out there who has the stat on this. I would love if somebody could go back through every first down play this year and see how many times we've run the ball. It's got to be, like 70-something%?
Nah, Tyson, I think it's probably about 80. Bro, I'm serious. Hold on, no. Yo, the run on second down, I know it's 90%. Like, it's crazy, man, how they got 9 people in the box and you still trying to run a football, bro. That shit blows my mind. But like I said, man, we're way past caring about what happens when on second down now or watching Frank Gore. You know what's crazy? 2 weeks ago, we watched this team run for like almost 200 yards, bro, right? We turn around the very next week, put Frank Gore in, and watch. And Frank Gore is a Hall of Fame type running back, and I wish him nothing but the best. He's a great leader. He's a great, yeah, exactly. And I'm watching. You got young guys who just the week before tripled everything we've done all season, but yet and still, you don't give them the ball, you give Gore the ball. That makes good sense to me.
And at what point, I mean, it's probably not going to happen because there's only 3 games left, but at what point do you think, like, Joe Douglas would be able to say, hey, we're not fighting for anything. We were eliminated from playoff contention weeks ago. We need to start figuring out what we have for next season. Is Ty Johnson somebody that, we can have as part of a depth piece in the backfield? Should we keep a guy like Josh Adams? Like, even a James Morgan, is he capable of being a backup quarterback next year? You invested a 4th-round pick in him. Maybe you should find out. What about Cameron Clark? Like, all these guys should be on the field getting significant reps, 50 snaps a game. There is no reason at all, especially with Frank Gore. I can understand some veterans, if you're talking about guys like Marcus May, some of the offensive linemen because they affect other pieces on the field. But for the most part, you got to have your young guys out there. You got to figure out what you have and what you don't have going forward.
Well, you would think these young guys would get burned, and that's what we wanted. Once we knew the season was over, we started watching young guys come in with our cornerbacks and stuff like that. You figured that you would go through the whole process. So now you have to go through a season without knowing what Clark is, not knowing what Morgan is, and that makes no sense. It makes no sense to play Joe Flacco when we were 0-8. 0-9. What sense did that make? There was no sense in that at all. But now, what I'm saying, we're into it, and you watch the Sam get killed. We're down by 40. We're down by 37 points, but yet and still, you don't remove Sam. You just leave him in there trying to run the same simple ass plays when these guys are just teeing off, and that's what Seattle was doing. They were teeing off. So that just shows the lack of compassion and understanding, leadership, and guidance. It's even the good ones know when to hold them and know when to fold them, man. And this guy doesn't do that, man. This guy still wants to kick field goals, to prove his point. You know what I'm saying? Which, and I feel bad for the kicker, man. Our field goal kicker, bro. Sergio, bro, my man was on point, bro. He's just when he missed the first two, I was like, his ass ain't hitting no more, buddy. And it was just all downhill.
Too many shotguns before the game.
He's
Shotgun
playing the bingo.
Sergio Castillo.
He's on the sideline playing the fucking bingo game, bro. Come on, Sergio, man. You got to do better than that, bro. It's bullshit.
That's what I think a lot of them were probably doing. Picking up the bingo board on the iPad.
Y'all started a real trend right now. You know what I'm saying? We got the players over there playing bingo. That's the problem.
And, one other thing that I totally forgot to mention, a second consecutive week where, once again, Adam Gase is asked about, a crucial situation, 2-minute drill, and his response, you know what, I got too cute with that play call and I had to waste the timeout. And again, the same thing the previous week with the Greg Williams call. I should have called timeout there. I wish I could go back. What kind of fucking coach talks like this? Like that second guessing mindset. To have that as your leader? What the dude? Go ahead.
No, that's exactly what he does, though. But primetime, he's been doing this shit from day one. He was doing this shit in year one. No time management, no clock management, no game management, no adjustments. We watch a team go into halftime and come out with the same fucking mindset that they went you went into halftime with. You made no adjustments during the game. These guys are pass rushing, no adjustments, no audibles, no. We're talking about the same coach that won't allow his quarterback to make audible calls, bro. They got 9 in the box, but no, Sam, don't worry about it. I picked the running play. Just run the football. We've had the 9 different offensive linemen all year long, but that's just the problem, man. That's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's I'm not saying it's frustrating, but you got to the point where you're numb to the shit that's going on. You're numb to watching this shit not producing, these guys not producing, and I'm watching my young guys, especially my corners, and I'm watching these guys get killed. So I don't know if that's helping them or killing them. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching them around and these guys get knocked around, man, and just getting done dirty. They're playing. I don't know what's up with this scheme of paying 15 yards off of every fucking receiver, but the shit's not working. It's just not working. So I don't understand who came up with that philosophy, but that is some straight bullshit. It's just stupid as shit, bro. We're watching guys.
It's that bend. It's that bend but don't break mentality. Let's not get blown out. Let's not get beat over the top. The problem is you allowed the offense to easily pick you apart for 10 yards at a time.
Absolutely. And you would adjust to that, but you don't. You know what I'm saying? Every single game I'm watching the same thing. So,
even still, I can understand with the defense because they just don't have a lot of talent there. At least on the offense, you invested a lot of money in guys that were supposed to be your guys this year. And granted, I know the receivers have been banged up a little bit this year, but, this offensive line was, quote unquote, revamped. You filled in 4 or 5 different starters. You invested a first-round pick there. If Greg Williams last year was able to make the kind of adjustments that he did, you said with Berrios too, that's what becomes so frustrating. This guy shows you some flashes, but then you think, all right, what if he was in a real offense? What if he was playing in KC with Mahomes or, in Seattle with Russell Wilson, part of a real offense? What could he be? Even a Chris Herndon, we don't know what granted, he's been shit this year in the few opportunities he's had, but he's never had a chance to really be featured at all this year. And so, we're talking like we have absolutely nothing here, no building blocks, which is probably the truth. But for a lot of these guys, we're seeing Chad Hansen with the rejuvenation now. He's got 12 catches over the last 2 weeks. I mean, we've just never had coaches in here, and it's not just Gase. It goes back to Bowles. It even goes back to Rex a little bit. We've just never had coaches here that can develop young talent, it seems like.
Yep. Hey, and also, man, I'm saying, it's like with our receiving core, you know what I'm saying? We thought our receiving core was really that bad, and are they really that bad, or is just the scheme really that bad? Or, you know what I'm saying, are these guys getting used the right way? I think on that one first down when they put Barrios in the back, they split out the receiver and put Barrios in the backfield. That was innovative. That's something we hadn't seen. But you do that one time, and that's it. Watching.
Yep.
You're not watching guys develop during the season. The one thing I will say though is, and I'll give credit to Greg Williams for this. Quentin Williams has been playing his ass off. Myers playing his ass off. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys are playing their ass off. So these guys have grown. We've watched these kids grow. But the problem is they have, you have a lack of talent everywhere else on the team. That's what happens. It's like with Marcus May. I'm not going to say Marcus May regressed this season because I think he's played better. He had a bigger role. But when you have a lack of talent, when you remove talent, and, you expect this guy to play at the same level and be just more productive, you just make it hard because you're lacking in so many areas. You know what I'm saying? Without C.J. Mosley, without Jamal, that team took a hell of a hit, not being able to fix the corner department at all in these 2 seasons. Actually, 3 seasons we've had. We're back to Bowles. We couldn't fix our cornerback situation, and we've had the same issues. I'll say with the offensive line, back then it looked like he's going to be a star, but name anybody else on the line that you give a fuck if they come back next year. Anybody that you can depend on to be great, you know what I'm saying? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? I think, we were really upset with the Fant signing at first, but I think Fant has played decent this season. I'm not going to, if they brought him back next year, I wouldn't be overly pissed. The only problem is he just stays hurt. You know what I'm saying? That's just one of the things that's going on. But other than that, he's had an okay season. But, you know what I'm saying? You fix our guard department. That's why I want to see Clark out there because this kid's a monster. Why not put this kid out there and let this kid get some burn? Let this kid get some, you know what I'm saying? What are you going to lose? I mean, you know what I'm saying? We've had 9 different offensive linemen all season long. It's been changed every other week. So, you're not going to fix anything or solve anything, and it's not moving forward. But Gase wants to prove his point, but he's going to be on that list, man, of 0-16 coaches. It's like it's been 4. He's going to be the 5th one. So, and it's only right that he deserves that. Exactly, he deserves that, because he has, but that was hiring him was a bad hire. We understand that. We understood that when that happened. We knew that wasn't a smart move, not with the talent you had in the business. But I want a real coach, man. I want somebody that can come in and really coach and really be a leader of men, and that's something that we haven't had in a long time. And I think that goes back to Fat Rex. You know what I'm saying? That's when I think that after that, you know what I'm saying, it's been all downhill. I mean, I'm not going to give Joe Douglas a pass, but I think he's done some good things. I think he's done some bad things as well. But this next move determines our future, man. Determines, if we're going to ever be happy again on this damn show. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be talking about how bad we suck every fucking week. Having callers call in pissed off because they see the same thing that we see. You're dividing the fan base because some people just want to win. You guys aren't Jet fans because you don't want to win. No. We Jet fans and we don't want to fucking win. No, for what? We
want to win long term. We want to win long term. A few wins in December does nothing. We want a Super Bowl. We want to get back to the playoffs consistently. We want that feeling that we haven't had in 10 fucking years.
And the bad part, prime time, is, man, we deserve that shit, bro. Like, this is the best fan base in football. I'm sorry. We're one of the best fan bases in football. Look at our attendance records, man, for the last 3 or 4 or 5 yeyears in this league. We're top 3, top 5 every fucking year. We have the best fan base, man. Yo. Exactly, yeah.
and that's also because the team pushed out a lot of the diehards with the fucking PSL.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that, but.
And one thing you got to look at, man, if you've never been to a Jet game, I tell everyone this. I said, man, if you're not a Jet fan, just go to one tailgate, bro. I promise you, it'll change your whole perspective. It's like a fucking walking environment of love out there, man. But we all love this team, man, and to the product we've been given, and the false hope and the false dreams that we've been sold, man, it's bullshit. And, it just goes back to the point of we're tired of it, man. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are. You get sick of losing, Brian. We're just sick of losing. You're watching a team like Cleveland. You watch a team like Cleveland that was at the bottom who turned it around, who fired their fucking coach last season because he wasn't the right guy. But yet and still, we keep the same fucking coach. Listen, Cleveland right now is probably paying 4 coaches, and they don't care because their owner wants to win. At any cost, he wants to win.
And that is why me and Tyson as well, we are all in on Bill Cowher. Because like you said, a leader of men, a CEO type, instant credibility, all those things. And it's not even about, finding the guy that can be here, for 15 years or something like that, like we've seen in a few comments. If he's here for 3, 4, 5 years, similar, very similar, almost exactly similar to when Bill Parcells took over, when Rich Kotite left after, that disaster, 1-15, he takes over instantly. Credibility, right? They win, I think it was 8 games the first year, 12-4 the following year, win the division, they're in the playoffs again. They go on a nice little run the next 10 years, make the playoffs, I think 5, 6 years, something like that. That's what we need right now. Somebody like that who can reset this entire thing and bring instant credibility back to this team, take us away from being the laughing stock like we've taken over from the Browns, because that's where they were a couple years ago. They finally got it right. Like you said, they had, 4 coaches, I think, for Baker Mayfield, but they finally got it right. They finally got it right.
Well,
so if they could do it, I'd like to think eventually the Jets could do it too.
Well, prime time, and you're dead on, and I'm definitely on the Cowher bandwagon. But what happens is this, man. He gives instant credibility, bro. He's going to fluctuate this team with something that we've been lacking is talent. Being able to watch. He's the coach that's gonna have coaches around him that make players better. You know what I'm saying? One thing about Pittsburgh, man, what do they do well? They draft linebackers, they draft pass rushers really well. Why? Because that's what they built their team on. Having a guy that can come in like that that's gonna be able to fluctuate talent and make these guys get better. Watching growth. You know what I'm saying? We're looking at our rookies and we're not seeing them get better. You know what I'm saying? That's the scary part. You know what I'm saying? That's the point of it. Well, I want a head coach that can come in and command respect from day one. I'm not going to tolerate you guys being late. I'm not going to tolerate your bullshit. Either you get better or you get off the field. That's what it is. That's what a coach comes down to. We haven't had that. That's what we need so bad. So that's going to be the biggest move for us next, is getting the right guy in the building that can do that. And a guy like Cowher automatically from day one sets us up to be successful in a year or 2 years. Absolutely. With a guy like Trevor Lawrence, a new offensive line, $90 million cap money, and a lot of teams having to let good players go under the cap, you can turn this shit around in one season. You understand what I'm saying? We could be in the playoffs next season if this shit's done correctly. That's how simple it is. Look at Cleveland, bro. What was Cleveland's record last year? Exactly. What was Cleveland's record last year? You know what I'm saying? They were like the bottom of the division. What they did, they turned it around in one fucking season.
It can be done. No excuses.
Absolutely, bro.
All right, and with that, we will go to the phones. 929-477-2651 is the number if you guys want to call in, and we'll kick it off with Steve in Essex Fells. Steve, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Steve?
Hey, man. How you guys doing?
Not too bad, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, guys. Doing well. You guys made Sunday enjoyable. The only good thing about Jet games these days is you're a live stream.
We try to make it fun, dude. I mean, that's the only thing we enjoy, too, at this point. The games aren't really fun to watch, but the interactions, so playing bingo, that's all we got.
Yeah, it's so bad that I keep saying it's rock bottom and the abyss, and then you get the Seattle blowout, and it was just a joke. Offense, defense, special teams, ball boy, water boy. We got killed in every facet of the game, And crazy is that Pete Carroll, I don't know if you heard, before the game, like, I don't know if it was the day of, the day before, he's pumping up Sam, and I'm sure Prime you'd like to hear that. He's like, he's going to be very good. I don't know if you heard that, but I don't know if that's like a really good coach like Pete Carroll kind of playing mind games. You know how they always build up the other players like Belichick, this guy's good, this guy's good. You could be 0-15. He'll say they got, Quinnen Williams, they got Sam Darnold. He'll be saying that, in the last game of the season, and then the Patriots will blow us out like 42-0. But, it was terrible. And I'm thinking to myself, we want them to lose, and I want them to lose, but this is so bad. It's like we're not even watching football, like professional football. I don't know what. And then the 3 missed field goals. And by the way, let's just Gase.
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And you know what?
No, I was just going to say really quick. I mean, like that was the biggest thing our takeaway at the end of the game was that, like, yeah, we want to lose. We want to keep the tank alive. We want that number one pick for, the new head coach and to let him do whatever he wants to do, just to have that, as your bargaining chip. Hey, you got the number one pick. You got all this cap space. We want that. But losing that way, watching them looking just completely lifeless the entire second half, like, I didn't get any joy out of that. That wasn't fun for me.
No, not at all. And now, I'm going to be honest with you, Carl. Listen, I don't think Pete Carroll was being funny. I think he actually really believes that Sam Darnold's a good quarterback that everyone else does. You know what I'm saying? But he also understands, you know what I'm saying, what the Jets do and how we've been doing things. And that's the whole problem with it. But watching that kind of football just turns everybody off. Like, it just turns you completely off. It's beyond frustrating. It sucks, and and not being able to qualify to call real football. So that's the frustrating part.
Yeah, and what's crazy is Pete Carroll was the Jets coach. I don't know how many years he lasted, but Gase,
1 year. 1 year.
1 year.
There you go.
1 year.
1 year.
And fired for Risco type.
Belichick lasted a day, right, before he resigned.
Yep.
And we get stuff with
day.
Adam Gase. And you guys did a great job. I don't need to go to rehash just how bad this man is. Offensive genius. This guy couldn't coach peewee football. He's a terrible coach. He left Sam, out there to get killed. And that's like the most egregious thing is to leave your starting quarterback who's a young kid. He's got his life ahead of him. Maybe he'll do great things, but not with the Jets. It doesn't seem like he'll stick. And you leave the guy in, and that just shows you how bad of a coach this guy is and just how bad of a leader, a personnel person, someone who just doesn't understand the game. He's clueless. So if the Jets, I got to say this, if they don't fire Adam Gase, there's going to be a lot of Jet fans who are going to tune off, and I might be one of them after watching 40 years of football and growing up where my next-door neighbor was the ticket manager of the Jets, and, he was in the Mets organization as well. So growing up Jets and Mets my whole life, this is as bad as it gets. So he's gone, and if he's not gone, Jets fans are going to leave. They're going to leave. And I'll be the first out.
No, I think a lot of Jet fans are getting very close to that point already. And, you would think at this point, there's been enough evidence to suggest, hey, all the red flags that we saw in Miami, they've all come here. And like you said, what's the one thing that this guy does well? If there was one thing, if he was a leader, if he was an innovative offensive play caller, if he could develop a quarterback, if there was one thing he did well, I'd say, all right, maybe you give him another year. You go into a third year. There's not one thing you can point to that this guy does well. And even more evidence, like we keep talking about, Robbie Anderson, he leaves, he becomes a star. Leonard Williams, he leaves, he becomes a star. How many guys have to leave our coaching staff, and I'll say staffs, plural, because it's multiple, how many guys have to leave this team and then go on elsewhere and have a successful career? Meanwhile, we're sitting here with the least talented roster in all of football. It's frustrating as hell, man.
Yeah, I agree.
The one thing that he does do really well is he kills teams, man. He's done that to 2 teams back to back. So that's one thing he does do very well. You guys, he's being funny.
He's not a quarterback. He's not a quarterback. He's like a quarterback destroyer and a team destroyer. But the Jets, they don't develop and retain players, except for Revis, and he developed himself, But, in terms of the quarterbacks, I wanted to talk about just a little bit. So last night's game, you guys saw it. I'm most likely, Mayfield, you're watching it during the show, I think. Baker and Lamar. I mean, These two guys, and throw Josh Allen in there, regrettably, they have something that I think Sam, needs to develop a little bit, and he always had this knock coming out of USC, is he's a laid-back guy. And he doesn't have he may have internal fire, but, when you get to that level, like the Tom Brady's, the Roethlisbergers, the Aaron Rodgers, they seem to play, angry and with a lot of emotion. And Baker, I mean, you saw him lead the team back. He didn't have the greatest game in the beginning, but he ended up with 2 or 3 touchdowns. He ran for 1. I think he threw for 2, throwing it all over the field, running, finding open guys, exciting the whole team, and put him in a position to win. And then Lamar Jackson comes from, the locker room with, what did he have, cramp? He was cramping up. He comes out because the other quarterback gets knocked down, and he leads them to a touchdown and I think in a field goal to win the game. And then Josh Allen also. So
Hey, brother, we appreciate. Hey, brother, we
Go
appreciate
ahead.
you calling in, bro. But we got to move on because we have a bunch of
All
calls on hold, man. Thanks for calling, man.
Sounds
Great
good.
point, though. All right. Have a good night.
All right, bye, man.
I just wanted to comment on that really quick because I agree. I think it's possible Sam might be completely broken, but I do think like that leader, that energetic, that fiery personality, it's deep in there somewhere and it wants to come out. The problem is when you're down by 20 plus points most games by the second quarter, it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to be a rah-rah kind of guy when you know you don't have a chance? Like we sit here and we laugh at Frankie Louvu and Bless Austin when they're taunting and celebrating and trash talking when they make a play and down 30. So, like, is your quarterback your leader? Is he really going to do that? I think we all want him to be that, but when he knows he doesn't have a chance, when he knows he's not set up for success at all, it's hard to be that rah-rah guy when you know you're about to get your ass beat and you're about to lose. So, that's just my take on it.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's go to the next call, prime time.
Well, hold on. Should we bring I think we got Tyson on here.
Okay.
Wait, I was waiting for the Chad Hansen speech. Did I already miss that, or is we still holding on to that one?
I touched on it briefly. If you want, I can go back into it a little more. I mean, 12 catches.
Man, I already heard the Leonard Williams building block comments. I mean, we're already at that point.
Hey,
Is it not accurate, though, that as players leave the Jets, their careers take off?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Anybody who leaves, Gase takes off. Look at Tannehill, bro. You know what I'm saying? Look at everybody who's left us so far. Everyone's doing well. Like you said, man, we can beat this shit into the wall, bro. It doesn't matter. This guy sucks. He's not a leader of men. He's made us worse. And in 2 years, he set us back 3 years. And we were already set back a year behind with Bowles. So now we're 4 years behind the 8 ball. So that's the problem with this team. That's the problem with moving forward. That's the problem with what we're doing right now. And this shit is killing us, bro. So just want to find a way to get better and move forward. So with that being said, let's go to the next caller, man.
All right, next up we got Mike in College Park. Mike, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Mike?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Just wanted to start out by saying, I've been loving the content you guys have been putting out recently. I just discovered the show midway through the season, and you guys got me hooked. I mean, calling into the show Tuesday nights definitely makes my week. And completely agree with what you guys have been saying. And, the way the media has been softballing Gase and just grilling Darnold is ridiculous, especially after you hear him, saying he wants to be a Jet for life. Pretty sad to listen to. And so my question is, do you think that our, big cap space money will be enough it'll be enough leverage to sign some of these veteran skilled players on the team, maybe like Juju or Allen Robinson, to fix some of those holes that we can't fill in the draft?
I think it's definitely possible. I'm curious, though, how far Joe Douglas would be willing to go. I mean, this past year, and again, this might have been part of the plan, not to spend a whole lot of money in a rebuild, but he wasn't willing to go the extra mile to sign anybody this past offseason. So maybe now, as other teams are, struggling a little bit financially, other teams can't go the extra dollar. Maybe now the Jets have that money and they can do that, or they feel more urgency to surround a Trevor Lawerence with some talent, knowing he's going to be here for sure for the next 5 years. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to have much of an issue, securing at least one, if not 2 or 3 top free agents with the money they have.
And I think so as well. I think that it really depends on the coach. I think a great prominent coach will come in, and I think the market value will be a little bit above. We'll have to pay above because we're going to be 0-16. So you're not you really want to come here, and watch your career dwindle away. But at the same time, you added someone in like Schuster, you added someone in like Robinson in, but then Jim Mims and Crowder, bro. Now you have something. You pick up a tight end. Now you have a chance. Fix the offensive line. Now you have a chance to be successful with a guy like Trevor Lawrence and a good, and a good running back and a good offensive scheme. So I think all that factors in. But I think this year right here, And then one thing I think with Joe Douglas, I think if he covers the guy and he respects the guy, I think he definitely bring him in. So I think that's definitely it.
Yeah, and so the only reason why I'm saying that is because, free agency starts in mid-March, right? And our draft isn't until late April. So, players aren't really going to know our QB situation, who's coming in, who's not. And so they might not have hope that, we could actually fix those holes in the draft.
Well, I think they have a plan, though. So they're going to definitely, they're definitely going to have a plan on what they want and who they want. I think that a lot of guys are going to be free. I think that with us having the money, I think it's only like 4 teams that really have money, and everyone else, because the cap is going down. So it's a lot of teams out here that's going to be over the cap. Definitely looking at a team like Pittsburgh, I think they're going to be over the cap. I know the Saints are over the cap. I think that the Patriots are over the cap. So it's going to be a lot of good guys. So like a guy like Tooney, we can get a guy like Tooney bring this guy in, you know what I'm saying? Him put him on the side with Becton, man. You solidify that left side of that line for the next 10 years. So you have something like that. You can grab you another tackle out there. You know, what you really want to do before the draft and free agency is fix all your holes. So we grab a cornerback and a prominent receiver, 2 offensive linemen. Then right there, you know, going to the draft, you're not drafting for needs. You're drafting for talent. And that's able to fix a lot of things. That's something that we haven't done in a while because we always have to draft for needs. So I think that's the biggest issue when you have talent out there. Like, you know, you can make this team better quickly. So I think that they have a plan in place. Now, I will get that about Douglas. Like I said, he is a football guy and he has football minds around him. So he's going to, you know, before the draft, he has an idea of what he wants to do.
I'm not even going to go as far as to say that we've been drafting for needs because we've taken defense 10 years in a row and we've needed offense. I mean, we have not had, you know, in this era of offense in the NFL, in this passing league, we have not taken advantage of that once. There's not been 1 year. Maybe the Fitzpatrick year, but again, you had a lot of veterans on that team. Other than that, you haven't built anything as far as, you know, drafting young players and bringing them into this new version of the NFL, which is, you know, a high-flying passing league. You haven't taken advantage of that once. You know, we draft these interior defensive linemen and, you know, these pass rushers that bust. At what point can we focus just on the offense and the quarterback? And that's what I'm looking for this offseason. You know, every dollar that you have, invest it offensive line, wide receivers. Go into the draft, you know, whatever you didn't get in free agency, that's your priority there on the offensive side of the ball. You want to take, you know, a couple flyers on, you know, a pass rusher and a cornerback late in the draft. I'm worried about the defense in 2021. This year, secure the talent around your quarterback. Don't make the same mistake that you did with Sam.
Well, absolutely. You have to surround Sam with talent, and that's something very important, man. You know, I mean, you have to sign our next quarterback with talent. That's the one thing that killed Sam. Imagine if they would have fixed the offensive line and had some receivers around him, how much better Sam could have been. You know, I mean, so you actually. Exactly. Well, that's the most important thing, but still, because any other coach could do more with less. We're at the possibility that we can't do anything what we have right now. So, like I said, man, you know, it's going to be a long process, man. The coach starts off. The new head coach is going to be the most important thing that we have right now. But, man, thank you for calling, man. We appreciate you calling, man. You have a good night, bro.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to finish with one more thing. The most Jets thing you're here all week. The Jets right now have Pierre this year nominated as Walter Payton Man of the Year, and he was cut a month ago. I'll end with that.
Hey,
that was such a Jets thing to do, man. I saw that. Actually, I heard it on the radio when I was driving home from work a few days ago, and they made the announcement. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. The one guy that you can nominate for the Walter Payton Man of the Year, you cut a month ago. So Jets.
Right, you have the bread. You could
Class
have
goal, Jets. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Have a good night, bro.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Yeah, that was funny as shit, bro.
All right, next up, we've got Archie in Los Angeles.
Hey, fellas,
Archie,
how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Good,
How you
man.
doing, bro?
Love you guys. I'm a huge Jets fan. I'm 50 years old, I'm sorry to say, so a lot of misery. And I'm out here in Los Angeles now. Yeah, exactly. And I was so psyched, before the pandemic hit because the Jets were coming to L.A. I get them to see the Chargers and the Rams, both in L.A. I was super psyched. My brother and I were going to go to the games. And then the best thing
I hope you're not going to go in this.
Oh, man, that sucks.
No, in L.A., everything is shut down. We
that's right.
go,
Yeah, there's still no fans.
Yeah. They're playing Arizona. Yeah. Oh, man, that sucks, bro. I hate that for you, bro. I know you were looking forward to that.
I was. The game is in L.A. still, but yeah, there are no fans allowed in the stadium. But the reason I wanted to call you guys was because, again, listening to the show, love it, but a few things. First of all, primetime, I wouldn't be worried at all about Gase. Gase is gone. You got to look to the history. The Johnsons have never fired a coach during the season. They're not going to do it. They're going to wait till the end of the season. He's as good as gone. The problem is the next coach. I've got some buddies. I work in the entertainment industry, and I have friends that, know Woody Johnson, have worked with him, and they describe him as a scorpion. He can't help himself. He does things. He sings. You know that old story about the frog and the scorpion going across the pond,
Yes.
He can't. Yeah, he can't help himself. So back in the day with Sanchez, Woody forced, Tannenbaum to get to get Tebow because he thought it would get improved ticket sales for the new stadium. Even though Rex, no one wanted him, they brought Tebow in. It screwed with Sanchez's confidence to the point where, you know, he became garbage. And it was because Woody couldn't help himself. And so the real problem is Woody the Johnson. So this is the game plan. I want you guys to hear me out. This is the path to victory for the Jets. Number one is the most important hire for the Jets is obviously this next head coach, but it's really this guy named Brandon Streeter. Brandon Streeter, if you don't know that name, is the quarterbacks coordinator for the Clemson Tigers. He, for the last 10 years, has been working under Dabo Swinney. He's the guy that groomed Charlie Whitehurst, groomed Deshaun Watson, and is grooming Trevor Lawrence. This guy is a genius. The Jets need to make him, if not the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach. This is guaranteed to get Trevor to come to the Jets, okay? They love him. They have an incredible relationship. And so Brandon Streeter's a no-brainer. I love the Cowher idea. I think it's great, but I don't think it's realistic. The guy that I am shooting for and I want desperately is David Shaw. David Shaw, like you always say, Tyrone, he is a man among men. He is a leader of men. This guy has an incredible – he's like 88 and 36 as a college head coach for Stanford. He's completely built that team. As of the last 2 years, they're falling a little bit. They're dropping a little bit. So it's a perfect time to swoop in and take this guy, make him the head coach of the Jets, get Streeter in there on the offensive side, and bring in Dan Quinn as a defensive coordinator. What do you guys think?
Hey, bro, I ain't mad at you. That's a hell of a wish list. I'm not mad at you. You made a hell of a point. Anything that helps us win, anything that helps us, you know, I mean, I think the lack of being able to give a quarterback some help is definitely a true statement. You know, the next head coach has to be somebody that can come in and change this whole culture, and that's what it is. Either you're going with somebody like Cowher or you're going with somebody young that's offensive-minded, that's a leader of men that can come in and really just work both sides. I think the scariest thing with this is, and I think you hit it out of the park when you said this, like the Johnsons are the biggest problem. You know, you have a guy like Joe Douglas, you have a guy like Tannenbaum in the building, and you just micromanage. You want to be in the way, but I think that really one thing they need to understand is that the fan base is getting tired, and you know, if you don't support, you don't succeed, and that's the scary thing. What do you think, Primetime?
Well, starting with the Clemson quarterback coach, I mean, I don't even know too much about him. I don't know if he's looking to come to the NFL, but if it's something that would make Trevor Lawrence happy, it would be a no-brainer. We haven't had a quarterback coach in a couple of years now. Makes no sense. So, yeah, I mean, I'd be all about bringing in somebody like that. As far as Shaw goes, that's interesting. I wouldn't mind a college coach. It's just not my number one preference, or at least a guy that doesn't have experience coaching in the NFL. Just because of where the Jets are at right now, I think this is a tough job to take over. Yes, it's set up for success, but I think you got to have that thick skin, and you also need that, again, the personality, the leadership type that can really just turn this thing around right away. Like we were with Kotite and Parcells took over, I think that's exactly the kind of personality that they need right now. I think Shaw could be that, but I think you're taking a risk on him as a first-time NFL head coach.
Well, he was an assistant coach in the NFL. He was a coach for the Eagles, Raiders, and Ravens, so he has NFL experience. One last quick thing, and I'll let you go. All these Jets fans that are clamoring to we don't go in 16, they're just clowns. And not only this, I agree with Tyson. I want the Jets to go 0-16. Even if the Jags win a game, I want them to go 0-16 as a diehard Jet fan because it's the only way. You have to thoroughly embarrass the Johnsons and shame them into spending the money to turn this thing around. 0-16 is what gets it done. 1-15 may not even get it done. 0-16. And with that, guys, I appreciate everything you do. Love the show.
Hey, bro, great call, man. Have a good night, man. Great call, man. That was, bro, he was dead on in every aspect of that, bro. Like, the Johnsons are the problem. And, and anyone who doesn't understand what he just said.
I completely agree with what he just said. I want the 0-16 because not just does Adam Gase deserve to have that on his record for the history of the NFL, but like for the Johnsons to get their attention.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Absolutely.
to get their attention about just
Absolutely.
how much of a circus you're actually running here.
Absolutely.
All the fans that were calling out your bullshit 2 years ago when you completely mishandled, firing Bowles, keeping McCagnon, letting him hire Gase, then firing McCagnon 2 months later. That whole fiasco, how you ran that, and you tried to say, now it clicked. Now the light went on. Now we got it right. No, you didn't. You still fucked up.
Yeah.
So you deserve this.
Absolutely. And you know what? And it makes so much sense, man. You kind of force them to either stay out the way and get this fixed because 0-16 is a hell of a stain to have on your organization, especially when there's only 4 other teams in the NFL who has ever done that. So can you imagine how that feels to have something like that? Yeah, that's absolutely great point, man.
But see, but Tyrone, but the one thing with that, 0-16 would actually work in our favor if you want a guy like Bill Cowher because that'll be the big splash that Woody Johnson will chase to make a statement and get everybody to buy tickets and do that. Like it could actually be like, you know what, these are desperate times. We may need a prominent guy to rebuild our aura, rebuild our image. Like, I can't sell tickets. I can't sell shit right now. That can actually work in our favor, 0-16, to make them go get that guy. Like a prominent guy. Like, I don't think David Shaw will ever come to New York. I don't think that would ever happen. But I think this Woody Johnson and his arrogance and his desire to be the king of New York and positive headlines and everybody love him and everybody love his team, that actually works in our favor trying to get Bill Cowher here. I really think so.
No, I agree with you, Tyson. I mean, I think that, that's what we need, man. We really need, we really need something crazy. I mean, you guys are so right, too. I mean, you remember every free agency, we always go with the big splash. It's not what we need, but it is a big name. Look at
Woody Johnson's history, dude. He went and got Tebow. He went and got Favre when we already had Pennington. He promised Mangini a job. He fired Mangini after he brought in Favre and basically harpooned him. So the guy, he's known for making bad decisions, but at some point you got to hope that Joe Douglas and these little staff of gurus over there are going to say, listen, man, our organization's at rock bottom. We need a strong coach because the problem you're going to have is you're going to bring in a hotshot quarterback in theory in Trevor Lawerence, and everybody's going to expect a much better offense, a much better team, a much better coach team, and we're not going to tolerate first-time blunders. We're just not going to. I know I'm not going to. If you hire a first-time head coach and he starts fucking up the clock and all these different things, are we going to really tolerate that? Or are we going to say, you should have hired a guy that already knows what he's doing? And that's where I'm at. Like, I want a guy that comes in with a blueprint, a plan, knows how to run training camp, knows how to manage the clock, knows the NFL rules. I want all this done already. Don't you? Like, I honestly, I'm not going to have the patience for, like, a first-time head coach. And I don't think the media is. I don't think the fans are either.
No, dude, I'm the same way. I'm not taking any chances with a first-time head coach. There's too much on the line. Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, whoever's quarterbacking us next year, way too much on the line. And we've messed it up too many times.
$80 million in cap space, all these first-round draft picks,
exactly.
All these premium picks, man.
As low as things are right now, if you get this hire right and you draft the right quarterback, you handle these next few months the right way, it could be a very quick turnaround if you handle this shit right.
And one more thing. I'll get my little. I'll let you two guys take back over. But I'll get my little sense in. Is also look at the media market that we're in and all the negativity surrounding this team, all the bullshit surrounding this team. You need a prominent guy that can just go into the press conference and basically tell the media, fuck off. Like, listen, I'm doing things my way. I don't care if you like it or not. I don't care if I'm not going to explain it to you or not. I don't really give a shit. This is my way. This is the way we're doing it. No. Right now, Gase tells them what to do, but he's playing these games and he's like showing his incompetence. But like now, it's like you can ask all the questions you want. I'll explain them. But this is the way I'm going to do it. Like Gase can't even explain what he's doing, dude. Like he has no idea what he's doing. But now it's like you bring in a Cowher. What is Cowher going to do? He's going to have instant respect of everybody. They're not going to play games. They're not going to backstep. They're not going to do any of this shit. Like all this nonsense goes away, man. Everything changes. Now, will it be the same if you bring in a Pat Fitzgerald from Northwestern? Is he going to have that same credibility, or are they going to try to find every way to find flaws in him and attack him? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think it's just that's the problem. I think we're just in a desperate situation. The co-type Parcells is so similar to where we are now. It's almost mind-numbing how similar we are right now. It's almost the same exact situation now. where our culture is that bad and our team is this bad, our roster is this bad, our image is this bad. I mean, it's as bad as it gets.
It doesn't get any worse. It doesn't get any worse, I'll tell you that.
And even better, if you get the prominent coach, you're bringing him in with, a nice young quarterback to work with instead of, Parcells, who was working with Foley, and then, and Vinny, who was great in that one year, but again, it didn't really give you much towards the future. So if you can get that Cowher in here, I don't care how long it is, let him mold Trevor Lawerence for a couple years and then pass the torch to somebody else, I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Let's get back to the calls. Prime time.
All right, next up, we have the old NYSF mag, Mr. J. What's up, dude?
Yo,
guys, I've been calling
guy.
My man. I've been calling in for 5 years on this show, and you guys are going to be shocked what I'm about to say, but this is going to be my most optimistic, fire-bringing call that you guys have ever heard. Okay, you ready for it?
Why?
Yes, sir.
Because I am fully convinced that we are 3 weeks, 3 losses away from finally turning this goddamn thing around and having some fun watching this team. I'm really convinced of that. I'm fully convinced Trevor Lawerence is going to come in if we lose these next 3 games, and we're going to get a coach because they want to coach that future legend, and we're going to get, we have our cap space and we have our draft picks and we have the right GM in place, and hopefully to finally turn this thing around. Everything you guys said a second ago was spot on. 0-16 is the stench that this organization needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror and say, you know what, we got to change what we're doing because what we're doing clearly isn't working. Woody Johnson, I'm prepared. I really am. I'm prepared to give Woody Johnson a clean slate when he comes back into town if he does what's necessary and brings in Bill Cowher. If he brings in Bill Cowher, he opens up his checkbook and he brings in Bill Cowher, okay? That will invigorate this entire – if you come in the next season with, ability to go to games and Bill Cowher and Trevor Lawerence and $100 million, $80, $90 million in free agents and another first-round draft pick and multiple – and you trade Sam and you get a second and third and all this shit, guys, we are going to be like it's going to be night and day. Do you understand the vibes that are going to be going into next season? How fired up we're going to be? Okay, so I firmly believe
here's the problem, though. And I'm not saying all that's not true. I was even just saying that a few minutes ago. You get the right coach, you get the right quarterback. The problem is we were in this exact same situation with even more cap space back-to-back years. The quarterback who was supposed to be the number one pick in the draft, who everybody loved, and we had the opportunity to hire a number of coaches that are successful right now, and we failed at every single one of those.
Right.
Yeah, but we're not coming off of 0-16. We're not coming off of 0-16 season as well, too.
Guys, this loss this week is extreme levels of rock bottom. It's like rock bottom hit weeks ago. I feel like weeks and weeks. Rock bottom was really when last year when they guaranteed that Gase was going to be coming back. To me, that was rock bottom because I knew that we were going to have another busted season and another coaching change. This isn't Monday Morning Quarterback. There's articles up on that NYSF Mag blog that I wrote over a year ago predicting exactly what was going to go down this season. Only I didn't realize it was going to be this bad. But listen, guys. The only way that we can fuck this up is to win a game. The only way we can fuck this up is to win a game. And that's why every week that goes by that they get drubbed, okay? They got their asses kicked by Seattle. I don't know why you guys weren't happy. I was ecstatic.
You enjoyed watching that.
Don't make me sweat it out. I enjoyed watching every second of it. Guys, I look at the Jets at the team that puts on the Jets uniforms this year as our competition. That's how I look at it. That's how I've viewed this year.
The problem is, though, you still have how many guys that were just drafted by Joe Douglas that are still going to be in the building next year that are wasting reps.
I don't care. We'll sort that out next year when we have a coach that knows how to use the talent. I don't care. Well, like, Sam's done, and we don't. And Quinnen looks good, and Mims looks good. You know that a good coach can work with those pieces. I don't care what happens the rest of the season. Short of injury. I don't want to see any injuries, but I want this team to get their ass kicked so I can enjoy my Sundays. And if you want to call me a bad fan for that, I don't give a shit. Call me a bad fan. I am the most optimistic I've ever been in this decade about what this team can be. You know, I have a vision, like I close my eyes and I imagine Trevor Lawerence and Bill Cowher, or Trevor Lawerence and Eric Bieniemy, or Trevor Lawerence and any one of a number of guys, and I'll be so excited for next year. And we are literally 3 weeks away from it, guys. Well, not even 3 weeks. We're like 16 or 17 days away from the end of this season and going 0-16, and let the NFL world laugh at us, because fuck them. Fuck the fans.
You just guaranteed a Jets win on Sunday.
They're not beating the Rams, and they're not beating the Browns. I'm a little concerned about the New England game. I'm thinking about going to the Jacksonville-Chicago game. That's down here in Florida.
Why is Kevin being a wet blanket, man? Why don't you just embrace the positivity, embrace Jay's excitement? Yeah. Why are you trying to bring him down, man? Damn.
Yeah, seriously, man. Any fan that tells you guys that you're being a bad fan by rooting against the team this year, fuck them. Because they don't understand what...
Jay, you just rallied the troops. You rallied the troops. Everybody's buying in, and Kevin's like, I don't think that's going to happen. You just guaranteed a win on us. Dude, Kevin, you got to ease up, man. Take a deep breath. I understand Sam Darnold's your boy, and he's not going to be here next year, but shit happens, dude. Let's embrace it. Let's embrace happiness.
I'm not defending Sam anymore. I want to get too cocky. We're 3 weeks away. Let's ride this out. Let's stay quiet.
Let's embrace the happiness.
Once the season's over, we can enjoy it.
No, I'm going to enjoy the season the way I want to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it the way I want to enjoy it.
I'm just not getting too cocky about it yet. I'm not sitting back closing my eyes and envisioning Trevor Lawerence and Bill Cowher on the sidelines yet. I'm not there yet.
Oh, I am.
Almost, but I'm not there yet.
I am. I'm there. I'm there. I've been there for weeks. And every week that goes by that gets us another L.
For me to jump on that yet. There are way too many scars that have not healed yet for me to start.
But see, you know what, Prime Time? I have words of wisdom for you, Prime Time. I have a very valuable words of wisdom. If you live in the past, you stay in the past. It's time to move on, my friends.
Yep.
How about that, Tyrone? I know you're impressed by that.
Hey, listen.
That's why all these jackasses are out there that are saying, Trevor Lawerence isn't the end-all, be-all. We've drafted plenty of guys. Why are you rooting for losses? Root for wins. You don't know what. Man, fuck that stupidity. This guy is literally the best quarterback prospect, ranked the best quarterback prospect since Peyton Manning, John Elway. This is the guy. This is the levels of that any football person out there is putting this guy in. And all you got to do is turn on the Cleanse game to watch. And if you tell yourself, you know what, I would rather beat the Seattle Seahawks and go 1-15 than have the entire career of this guy playing on my team, I'm sorry, man. I'm going to call a spade a spade. You're a jackass. You're not a real Jet fan. And I don't tell people how to be fans, but I don't understand the mentality of anybody who's rooting for the Jets to win a game. It's like some weird, pride thing, and it makes no sense to me. What pride is there in saying we went 1-15? There's no pride in that. People are going to laugh at us even further. Ha, you blew the tank. That's the embarrassing thing.
This is why I love when Jay calls in. This is exactly the reason why I love when Jay calls in. Hey, Jay, man, I just want to let you know, bro, I love the shit out of you. I always have. I'm a big fan.
Man.
And you know what, Jay? Last week, man, they doubled up on me, man. And I'm watching Tyson just flip on prime time. But they threw me under the bus last week, Jay. And I was hoping you would call in, man.
You
know what I'm saying? Because they was out there kicking my ass.
You became Shaq last week, Tyrone. You became Shaq all of a sudden. I'm like, what happened to the code? I'm like, where'd he go?
See how they did me, man. Jay,
turned into Shaq.
I miss you. But listen. Jay made the best point, and the caller from L.A. made the greatest point, bro. Listen, we need 0-16 to make the Johnsons look bad, bro. We really need this, bro. This is something that we really need because, you know what? That means the rebuild is truly started and over because we've never hit bottom. We 0-16. You can't go no worse than that. You know, the only thing you could do to fuck that up is bring Gase back. That's the only thing you could do to make this fan base riot, bro.
This team is going to likely, I think that it's more likely than not, considering the way they look this week, looks like they mailed it in. I think they're going to have the worst point differential in the history of football. I think this is going to be the worst team in NFL history. Like, they're going to talk about this team. They talked about, like they talked about the creamsicle Tampa Bay Bucks. You know, it's like, dude, this team is all-world bad. And you know what? We, as fans, deserve Trevor Lawerence. Don't tell me the Jets don't deserve Trevor Lawerence. There's a whole system in place to help bad teams get good. The Jets need this. We as fans deserve this. We've suffered through. Ryan Fitzpatrick has Jets quarterback records. He was our best quarterback of all time, like for a year. Like, dude, I know we have Joe Namath, but like Joe Namath, yeah, he had a good, he won us a Super Bowl, and then his legs fell off and ended his career with the Rams. Chad Pennington, his shoulder fell off. He ended his career with the Dolphins. Like, we deserve that guy. We deserve our Peyton Manning. We deserve our Tom Brady. And you know what? He's right there waiting for us. And all we have to do is lose 3 games that we should lose. So don't fucking disappoint. I will be convinced if the Jets lose these 3 games, we're about to go on a dynasty. We're about to be I'm going to take it a step further and go crazy. I think we're going to be a fucking dynasty if we lose these next 3 games. And if we win one of these games, I'm going to be the most depressed I've ever been if we fuck it up somehow. So just lose. And anybody who tells me that I'm a bad fan for rooting for it can go fuck themselves too, because I'm ready for it. Let's get these 3 losses and move on with this from this awful 2020 year. And when the clock turns to 2021, everything changes. And I'm ready for it.
Jay, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Love you guys, man. Jets therapy all the way. Best show ever. Oh, and by the way, Tyson, I need to get on the live stream with you guys for at least a shotgun this Sunday, man. If we go down,
I'm in.
I want to do a shotgun with you. I told Primetime I'd take one of his shotguns, man. I want one. I've been playing bingo with you guys, on the quiet, but they can't call in, can't have any fun with my boys. I need to do a shotgun with you guys this week.
If Perry scores a touchdown, you can take my shotgun.
Hey, Jay, do not let Primetime put Frank Gore running on 1st and 2nd down, bro. You'll be out by halftime, bro. I'm just letting you know.
we struggling Sunday with that one.
I'll do a shot for every Frank Gore 1st down run in the first half. How about that?
Oh my God!
Wait, you won't. No. You won't be drinking. No. You take a shotgun for every time Frank Gore runs, Jay. That's the problem.
I don't want to do a shotgun every time he runs, but I mean, listen, I'll get dangerous with you guys because I'm that fired up. I'm loving what's going on. So you guys have a good night. Take some. I know you guys
later,
have
Jay.
a jam-packed phone, so I'll talk to you guys later.
You talk to me, man.
Have a good night, bro.
So wait, we got to bring on the next caller. I'm gonna bring this guy on because he's become a little bit celebrity, and the last 2 weeks he's been busy. So I mean, and I'm pretty sure the last time he was on, he served up more waffles than IHOP. So let's bring him on. Steve, what's up, man? Welcome back.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's going on, bro?
Welcome back.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Can't wait to talk more about this fucking ass garbage team.
Oh, there you go, Steve.
This team is so fucking horrible, man. This team sucks so bad. I hate Adam Gase so much. I just hate this fucking team. And as of after last Sunday, we're probably gonna go 0-16. So I mean, listen, and you know what? After watching Sam's performance on Sunday against Seattle, time to move on. It's time to move on.
Yep. Why do you think so? Wait. So, Steve, hold on, Steve. So what did you see out of Sam that made you think that you're finally going to give up on him? Like, what part of his game disappoints you?
The problem is he can't read the defenses right. There should have been 3 interceptions by the Seahawks defense. I mean, Jamal Adams had a field day. I mean, Jamal Adams got his wish on Sunday, beating us. And it was just, he just still can't read the defenses right. He's honestly playing like a rookie quarterback. And unfortunately, this guy who's a fucking clown on the fucking sideline in Adam Gase, unfortunately, is ruining his whole entire career. Honestly, he's better off going to another team because Jets get the number 1 pick, which is most likely going to happen after the last game we played on Sunday. You honestly can't say no to this Trevor Lawerence kid. You can't say no to this kid. Because, I mean, if you watch his highlights of what he's done in Clemson, hang on, Tyson, let me finish. Before, it's just, you can't say no. You can't say no to this Trevor Lawerence kid.
So that's all you're finished? You just can't say no? That was your big power statement? That was your your big finale there?
Yeah, other thing is Adam Gase is a veteran coach.
That was really
Why the goddamn fuck are you calling a timeout after when Braxton Berrios stepped on the sideline?
So, Steve, what would you get? What do you want in return if you try to trade Sam Darnold? What is the minimum you would turn and take in terms of draft compensation?
You get a second round and a third round pick back. You're not going to get a first round back from him. You need a second and a third.
Steve, you're not getting no second for Sam Darnold the way he's playing right now. That shit ain't happening, bro. You know, he's a third
and
or
what
fourth
the hell
round
do you
pick
think
at
we
best.
should get, Tyrone?
Well, first and foremost, okay. I think we're not gonna get a fucking second round pick with your dumb ass. That's not gonna fucking happen. You ain't playing worth a fuck right now. So how the fuck will we?
Come
who would
on,
give
man.
us a second round pick for him right
we
now?
gotta talk to our callers nicer than this, Tyrone. We gotta.
I am talking nicely. That's a nice Tyrone when you yell at me. No, hell no. But the third round pick is probably what we're gonna get right now. So that's the best we're gonna get. What do you think,
well, listen,
Steven?
Tyrone, let me ask you this: are you gonna get a third? Are you gonna get 2 third round picks, like for in 2021 and 2022?
Steve,
there you go.
Listen, I wish we could get that, Steve. But the way he's played this season, knowing the kid is broken, man, it's not gonna happen, man. You're not gonna get 2 round picks. You're not gonna get 2 picks for Sam. I mean, you might get a 4th and a 5th, conditional the next year. Not going to happen. How? What has he done to show you that he deserves a second round pick? Why would you say he deserves a second round pick for Sam Darnold and a third the next year? Why is that? Explain.
The thing is, listen, because of the fact that Sam is a former first rounder, and I mean, if you could get a second rounder and a third rounder back, that would be a great return. Because of the fact that he was a first rounder.
Answer this for you, Steve. Steve, want me to answer this for you?
Steve, he hasn't played like a first rounder, Steve. So what do you do when he hasn't played? Even though he was a first round pick, he hasn't played like that. So what do you do then?
You realize that he's still very, very young. He's still very coachable. A lot of the mistakes he's making can be changed with the right coaching and the right attitude and the right players around him. Steve, you tell him this. There's still a lot of potential there. You just got to deprogram what he's learned, reprogram, build him up the right way, surround him with weapons, give him the right culture, and he'll be fine. Tell him that, Steve.
Yeah, it's just the problem is he's just never had the right fucking coach, because obviously this Jets organization doesn't know how to hire a fucking coach.
No, but it's not even. So, okay, listen. So it's the coach, but just say for example, you're the San Francisco 49ers. You give him Kyle Shanahan. You give him a good running game. You give him all these different things, a whole new play calling. They could probably believe because he's still so friggin' young, man. He's still got talent. You just got to coach out all the things he's learned. You got to believe in him and give him some support. And you know what? And you may be willing to say, you know what? You got to sit out a year or sit out 6 months or whatever it is, or sit out a half a season just to get yourself back together. But I mean, there's still potential there, Tyrone. I think you can get a couple picks for him. I think you can get more than one.
No, I know. I'm not saying it's not potential with Sam Darnold. I still believe that he's a good player. But my understanding is there's no way you're going to get a second and a third round pick the following year for him right now. If we take Trevor Lawrence, teams know that we don't need him. Prime time. Do you think we'll get a second and third round pick for Sam Darnold?
On the surface, no. But what I think can definitely happen is maybe this year it's only, let's just say, a third or a fourth round pick, and then the following year the conditional pick maybe is worth a second or a third if he is still the starting quarterback of that team, like some kind of provision. If he returns, if he signs a contract extension, whatever it may be, if he starts a number of games, puts up a certain number of stats, then that third round pick the following year triggers into a second or something like that. That I could see happening. Again, for a good team that's picking towards the latter portion of the second round, which is pretty much a low third round pick, I don't think that's crazy at all for a young quarterback. Same age as Joe Burrow, I don't think it's crazy.
A team like the Saints or Pittsburgh or someone like that, absolutely. But what I'm saying, what Steve said, we should get a second and a third round pick. I'm asking, would that happen with this draft coming up right now? What validates? Why would you validate?
Both picks in this draft, probably not. No, I think that's too much for a team to give up right away, without actually having them in their building, getting to work with their coaches. But yeah, to think they won't get 2 picks for him though, I don't think that's crazy at all. One of them is just probably going to be a conditional pick based on how he actually performs there, wherever he goes.
No, that would be the only way it get done. I don't see a second round pick for Sam right now. I just don't see that. You might get a third or a fourth right now, and then next year, the following year, a conditional. If he's still there, if he signs a contract, a second round pick, kind of like what they did with Leonard Williams. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. I look for that kind of deal right there.
So Tyrone, here's a question for you, and this is a question for all you guys, and this is one of the things I keep wondering about is At what point, if you know you're going to say, I think at this point they all know that Sam Darnold's not going to be the quarterback next year. I think their whole goal is number one pick, Trevor Lawrence. At what point is playing Sam a risk where you're risking him getting hurt? What if he gets a serious shoulder injury and he's out for the year? Or he gets some kind of serious injury? At what point do you say, you know what, we got to play Morgan, or we got to play, like, at what point do you not play him?
The problem is that they're not thinking like that. They're not trying to have that perception that they're trying to lose because they fired Greg Williams.
Like that.
Morgan should have.
They're not going. They're not going to do something like that.
Go ahead, Tom.
No, I'm finished. I just want to interrupt Steve.
Morgan should have played 3 weeks ago, and he should have been playing now. I mean, let's see what the kid
but I'm
has.
saying, at what point, like, see, for me, it's like when you watch a game like Sunday, once the blowout is beyond obvious, to keep Sam in there to take an ass-kicking serves no purpose for a variety of reasons. The first reason is he's already demoralized and playing like shit. Why make it worse? The second thing is, why risk him getting hurt? The last thing is, why not get James Morgan some playing time? Because he had no preseason. He had no fucking reps. So the logic in me, like the kind of being practical, there's so many reasons why they should have took him out on Sunday, and nobody in the media asked that fucking question. I have no idea why. Why do you want to see your young quarterback take the beating that he took over and over and let him leave the game like that? Makes no sense. But nobody asked that question.
Yeah.
But then it's like, why not get Morgan in the game? Like, get Steve.
There's one thing I just want to say really quickly, because the media is always talking hard to Sam really hard. I think the media is afraid to talk to Adam Gase and not ask him those questions. I think the media is afraid.
Or they're just getting really lazy, man. They're just getting lazy. They're collecting checks. They think nobody cares. Nobody's paying attention. But there are legitimate questions you can ask this coach.
Fucking paychecks.
It could be. I mean, Steve, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.
Steve.
Bye-bye.
But Tyrone, just going back to that real quick, I wanted to get your take on that. Like, just from a football standpoint, the way they handled Darnold on Sunday, I thought was bullshit. Just about the fact that he should have been taken out of the game, dude. Like, it was obvious he wasn't playing well. He was just done, dude. Like, he was playing terribly. So if you're not going to play Flacco, I don't know why. I mean, what is he here for? Then you need to have Morgan active for situations like this. Because you know what? This Sunday against the Rams, the same fucking thing can happen. They're going to get blown out, dude. So if the score is 31-3 in the third quarter, why is Sam still out there? You're not going to – it's not accomplishing anything. And you're risking him getting hurt or making things absolutely more worse than they are now.
And Tyson, you know, you have a better point than that, man. And I know you guys are going to touch upon this on Friday, but actually, I just want to say this. The Rams' defense, man, is ferocious. They're going to really, really hone in and really tee back and tee their head off at Sam. So you're absolutely correct. There's no way, there's no scenario he should be in the game when it's that kind of loss. And Seattle defense sucks. So that really shows how bad we really played Sunday. So playing with someone against like the Rams to be down 30-3 or 40-3 in the third quarter, and you have Sam out there just getting murdered. No, that's not cool. But that's what they've been doing all season long. So why would we expect anything different? This is what they've been doing. This is what they've been doing to this kid this whole time, putting this kid at risk, not looking at his future, putting him back in games when he's hurt. It's just what they've done.
But this is where this is where you would think when they have their little Monday morning meetings with Joe Douglas and Adam Gase, Joe Douglas at some point, I mean, doesn't he want to see what James Morgan is? Doesn't he want to see what Cameron Clark is? I mean, it's a lost season. This is the perfect time to see what these guys are. Have them active on the game day roster. So if you fall into an oh shit situation, which Sunday's going to be an oh shit situation where you get your doors blown off, you throw them in there and let them learn. And you know what? That's how you figure it out. You're not worried about winning. You're worried about game reps, live action, so you can get an idea what's going on. And if you preserve Sam Darnold, even better. Like, save your asset. Because right now, to me, he's an asset. He's an asset you're going to trade. That's the way I look at him right now. So you got to be a little bit smarter and not have your head in the clouds here with this shit and keep, this is where Douglas and the front office, they all got to work together and say, okay, listen, what are we trying to do here? Because they're not handling it right. Like, could you imagine late in the fourth quarter, Sam Darnold gets smashed, blows out his shoulder, or God forbid, blows out his Achilles or something like that? Do you imagine what we'll be saying? Why is he still in the game? He shouldn't be in the game. Nobody's talking about it now because nobody cares. If it happens, we'll be talking about it. So why don't we avoid the situation?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's just something that, it's the kind of thing that the Jets do of mishandling, and especially with the head coach that we have trying to, you're down by 40 points, having this kid drop back with these long, drawn-out plays. I mean, it's what it is. What do you think, Prime Time?
See, I think it's more they just still care about the perception of them tanking and that, they want to show the world that they're actually trying to win and that, they're just this bad. That's why they're losing. So, benching Sam and starting James Morgan, I feel like that would signal that they're just waving the white flag. But like you said,
you're losing 34-3.
They have an easy answer. You're 0-13. We're trying to get a look at some of our rookies and figure out what we have for next year. It's an easy answer. Yet I still think they're just focused on trying to convince people that they're actually trying to win and not actually tanking.
At 31-3?
Well, that's different. I mean, they didn't activate James Morgan, which is another issue. Not having your rookies actually active and being able to come into a game.
But if they want to portray being competent, you're watching what Sam Darnold's doing on Sunday. I'm pretty sure a lot of other coaches across the NFL would have taken him out. Like, you know what? This game is complete garbage time. I mean, the Seahawks are playing Geno Smith. Let's take him out. He's obviously not playing well. He's already demoralized. His body language is fucking awful. They're teeing off on him. Let Joe Flacco go out there and run around like an idiot and throw some passes. Like sometimes you got to cut your loss. Like, it's just game management, man.
Well, unless Gase realizes that's his last lifeline, Sam Darnold showing progress over these last few weeks is, his last chance to come back. I don't know.
Hey, bro, there's no lifeline in that situation.
Nope.
None.
There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be, but.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll go to Frank in Florida, and you guys can keep doing your thing. Frank, what's up, man?
Doing good, guys. How about you? What's up, Tyrone? What's up, Ron? I'm doing good, man.
How you doing? How you
good,
feeling,
man?
bro?
I just want to go based on, I agree 100% with Tyrone. We are the most optimistic, best fan base out there. I mean, basically, guys, because, look, we got to lose the next 3 games. We got to get that first overall pick, and we got to nail the head coaching job. But the one thing that we've really got to nail is free agency. We have to nail free agency because what they did to Sam in his 3rd fucking year with this free agent class of Joe Douglas, dude, it's a complete fucking disgrace, bro. Because, look at our offensive line. You take Becton out of the picture, we got Van Roten, we got McGovern, we got Alex Lewis, and we got Fant. At best, bro, Fant's a backup. So is McGovern. The other 2 can be in a practice squad somewhere in fucking Cleveland or whatever. You look at the game yesterday. You look at Cleveland. The one thing I appreciate about Cleveland, at least, is a sense of urgency, and they're trying to help out Baker as much as possible. They traded for fucking Odell Beckham. They brought in Conklin. They signed Hooper when they didn't even need a tight end. They signed Hooper to help out Baker. You look at Baltimore as well, and you look at everything that's happening in Buffalo with the Stephon Diggs trade. They traded a lot for Stephon Diggs. We did absolutely nothing for Sam, and I hope we don't make the same mistake for Trevor Lawrence, because what's going to happen is if we go into next year and he has this fucking Moneyball approach, Douglas, and we don't nail free agency because we're not going to be able to fix this team overnight with the draft, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be a pretty picture for Trevor Lawrence. It's going to be very, very ugly because we failed.
Let me just say real quick. I mean, I don't think Douglas wants to fix this thing overnight. I think he's actually trying to build it long-term the right way through the draft. So I don't think he's looking at free agency as the priority here. And you noted the failures that he had last year in free agency, which I agree, was the final demise of Sam Darnold not being able to sign any talent around him. But that was also the effect of not drafting well for the last 5 years, not having any pieces in-house that you can surround him with, also not having a coach that can elevate any of the pieces that are here right now. So I still think the head coach is the number one most important thing. Then he takes his quarterback and builds the team around his quarterback the right way. And that's usually through the draft. The successful teams build through the draft and supplement their team through free agency.
But Prime Time, I think what he's saying though, Prime Time, if you put Trevor Lawrence in the same situation you put Sam, you're gonna have the same result. Is that what you're trying to say, bro?
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, bro. But look, when you got a quarterback that's on a rookie contract, you're not in rebuilding anymore. You got to spend money because, bro, the quarterback's gonna be occupied for the next 4 or 5 years. And what they did to Sam Darnold his 3rd year, by letting Robbie walk and signing Perriman. Perriman was a fucking practice squad player for the Cleveland Browns a couple years ago.
Yep.
Dude, I mean, this was a travesty, bro. This was a complete travesty.
And that's why the approach never really made sense. And I feel like Joe Douglas came into this third year with the mindset of, hey, we're going to rebuild instead of investing assets around our quarterback, whether or not, that was because he didn't believe in Sam or what, or he just didn't feel like there were enough assets here. I don't really know, but I agree with you. I mean, they have the money to spend. Whoever their quarterback is, you're going to have free agent targets at wide receiver, guys like Allen Robinson, Godwin, Kenny Galladay. All those guys are free agents. You got a couple guards in Thuney, Brandon Scherf. Build a legitimate offense around your quarterback for once. You have all the assets to do it. There's no excuse not to.
Yeah, man, I hope so, bro. But, dude, I got no faith in Douglas whatsoever. I'm one of the ones that have no faith, bro. He's done nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because, hey, look, as much shit as Adam Gase gets, which is heavily deserved, dude, Joe Douglas was attached to Adam Gase. They came in around the same exact time. Gase's tenure was probably just a few months. That was it. So they're attached together. So for us to praise Douglas, he's a football guy. Guess who was another football guy? Mike McCagan. And look how that panned out.
No,
dude, Douglas needs to do something big next year, bro. And look, you're gonna get the best quarterback to come out since Peyton Manning. You have to nail it. You have to be aggressive. There needs to be a damn sense of urgency, especially you got a quarterback on a rookie deal. And dude, we have all the cap in the world. Who the fuck is locked up on this team? We have no talent whatsoever. All we got is Becton and Mims. That is it. And Quinnen Williams. That's it. And they're all on rookie deals. So we need to spend money this offseason, and we got to get Trevor Lawrence the support to be successful. And I really hope Woody comes out and Woody says, look, I want to sell tickets, and he brings in Bill Cowher and we spend the money. I really hope we do that because we need a change everywhere.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. I feel the same way. I feel like if you bring Trevor Lawrence in and you don't bring him with any kind of help, any kind of support, then you're going to have the same outlook that you have with Sam. I think the one thing that Trevor will have advantage over Sam is he'll have a prominent head coach that's competent of being able to lead and groom him and make him better. But I think they failed Sam in a lot of ways. But one of them not ever giving him a good offensive line, not giving him any kind of talent, and then the one piece of talent that he had was Robbie, and you let him go for $2 million. I mean, I just think that was
bro. And look, it was very well deserved. Jamal getting traded based on everything that happened. But dude, you're the GM. Dude, convince the guy to stay, bro. You don't trade your best players. Good organizations don't do that. And dude, Jamal's having I would say that he's not having a great year, but bro, he's been impactful for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think that was the wise that we traded him. But look, we'll see what happens in regard to the draft and all that. But look, we cannot cut Douglas all the slack in the world. The guy has a lot to prove because it has not been pretty. Letting Robbie walk for Perryman, come on now. And I'll let you guys go. I love the show, guys. Continue doing what you guys do. Hopefully one day we can tailgate, after this COVID bullshit, and we start seeing some wins, and hopefully we get that Super Bowl very soon.
Oh, definitely, man. We'll definitely be setting up some kind of tailgates in the future. So, yeah, appreciate you calling in, man.
Take care, guys.
Have a good one. All right, we're going to keep going on with the phones. We got Travis in Long Island up next. Trav, what's up, man?
What's going on, Trav?
What's going on, fellas? How are you doing?
Yo, Trav, you there?
Hey, yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, now
you sound good now.
Okay. Hey, wait, what's going on, fellas? How are you tonight?
Oh, hanging in there, man. What's on your mind?
So basically, I just wanted to first mention that the live stream you and Tyson Prime did on Saturday for the fight was fantastic. I love tuning in while we were both waiting for delayed stream while Tyson was enjoying the fight live. I thought that was pretty awesome, so I hope you guys keep doing that. I wanted to add to what you were saying, Prime, about guys getting better when they leave the Jets and kind of basically ask you and Tyrone a question on what you think is the issue here. So you mentioned, Leonard, Robbie, and Sam being someone who's taken steps back while being with the Jets, those guys improving when they left. The rookie class this year has been pretty lukewarm. Does that form more on Joe Douglas' inability to pick guys, or is Gase not coaching them up and holding them back? Because if it's on Joe Douglas not picking the right guys, because he already messed up free agency for me this year that passed by, letting go of Robbie for Bouchard as well as some other questionable moves. If it's Douglas, it makes it more imperative that we get Cowher so Cowher can have more control of personnel. If it's Gase, obviously, which it could easily be, then, a coach coming in and coaching up the guys, maybe we get more out of Zuniga, maybe Clark actually can start a game, God forbid, as well as maybe getting some more out of Perine. But again, the rookie class has been lukewarm as a whole, and I just wanted your guys' opinion on, is it Douglas's picks or are they just not being coached up?
Well, I would say, I'm going to give Douglas the benefit of the doubt, at least for his first draft. I think Becton, when he's been on the field, has shown you some things. Same thing with Denzel Mims when he's been on the field. The problem is almost every single guy at some point this year has been hurt. Now, that's a trend with all of Adam Gase coach teams, so you can point the finger at him. And you could also, look at even, the distribution of reps with a lot of these guys. Zuniga hasn't seen the field a lot. Davis wasn't seeing the field a whole lot. Now he's hurt. Cameron Clark, James Morgan still inactive. You could also say, why the hell did you even take a backup quarterback in the fourth round? We all questioned that at the time. There were plenty of veteran options you could have signed. You brought in Flacco. Did you really need to invest a fourth-round pick in a kid who wasn't even ready to be active? So, yeah, there's definite questions about, some of the picks that we made this year, especially if the priority was building around Sam Darnold, like Joe Douglas was saying that was the priority. So, yeah, plenty of questions, but I still think it falls mostly on Gase, because he has the history of proving that he can't use guys the right way, and when guys leave, they get better.
What do you think,
absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I think that you hit it out the park with that. I just think that, I think it's a lack of coaching that's the biggest issue. I think that the players that Douglas took in the draft, I think the jury's still out on them, but I do see and I do like what we have in some of the talent, what I've seen thus far, the rookie free agents, as well. I like the undrafted free agents.
What the hell have we seen?
Well.
I don't understand what we've seen.
Listen,
I'm completely with him, man. I'm completely with Travis. I'm sorry, dude. Listen, we've seen Becton. He's definitely a very good player, has Pro Bowl potential. Injury concerns, though, are starting to become worrisome. Whether the Jets are mishandling him or not, that's a problem. Denzel Mims is showing potential. After that, what exactly have we seen? What exactly? What 2 plays here, 2 plays there? Oh, we don't I'm not confident. How many starters do we have out of this draft class? We say maybe 2. Mims and Becton. Other than that, the rest of them are all unknowns.
And Austin Davis, if Davis wasn't hurt, Davis will be starting. So I understand what you're saying.
But he's starting. But is he good? What, he made 2 pass breakups and now he's all of a sudden a hero? He's got a lot. This whole class has a lot to prove, dude. They've all been hurt. They haven't been on the field, and we're getting blown out week in and week out. So nobody's really evaluating them. We're like, we lost again, no big deal. If it's a tight game, start blowing coverage, we'll start noticing them.
No, what I'm saying
we don't know what this draft
class
is, man.
No, I don't think we're saying that, Tyson. I think that we're saying that back then and what we saw in Mills, we saw in Davis, we think these kids could be okay. You know what I'm saying? Not seeing the quarterback that we drafted in the fourth round is definitely a problem. The zing is a problem. It's definitely it's holes.
Cameron Clark not playing all season long. That's a problem.
Absolutely. So, you know what I'm saying? It's the mismanagement on all parts of it. But, you know what I'm saying, with the Mims, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't think Mims was going to be as good as he was, or he has been thus far, which he hasn't been a lot. But I see definitely some potential in this young man. So imagine he had a real coach that made him better and he wasn't hurt during the season. It could be determined how far this kid can be.
We need. But listen, your first and second round picks are what are supposed to be impact players. But where Mike McCagnon fucking failed the Jets is the later round picks, and that's what separates the good teams from the bad teams. Your fourth, your fifth, your sixth round picks, your third round. That's how you build your roster with all those picks, because not only are they cheap, they're depth players and they become starters. And right now, we're not sure where any of those guys are. And Travis, I completely agree with you, dude.
Exactly.
There is so much pressure on Joe Douglas this draft class. Next coming up, you need impact players and you need role players. You can't have just a guy. I'm not even sure Perine is yet, because to me he's like an average running back. I don't think he's going to be like a stud running back.
Just to add to what Tyson's saying, listen, the left tacklers that got taken in the first round, all of them were can't miss except the guy that went to the Giants, and he's been playing better near the later end of the season. So, it's not like Douglas hit on that pick. It was pretty obvious, and we could have went with Wirfs, or we could have went with the guy that went to Cleveland, and we still would have been okay. And, Mims, I agree he did hit on Mims, but like Tyson said, the third, the fourth, the fifth, those are where you get the value guys who can really propel a team to a possible championship. And when we have all this draft capital, I'm questioning if Douglas is the guy to be able to evaluate the talent in the draft, to be able to make the right call on it. Irregardless, I think if we get Cowher, it's less collaborative, and Cowher's going to have more pull on the guys that he wants. And I trust Cowher more than Douglas, but
That's why I wanted to pose the question to you guys. How much of it is Gase? Because for sure, like Brian said, guys get better away from Gase. Devontae Parker shined right when Gase got out the door. Tannehill shined with the Titans. Guys get better, but again, like, you know, the draft class looks pathetic even when they are healthy.
You got a point there. Can't argue on that one.
Travis, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Have a great night.
Have a good night, Travis. You too, bro.
All right. You got primetime. You got Mark Levy in Dallas. You got Dallas, Texas calling in.
Yeah, calls from all over.
What's up, Mark?
Tonight. You got L.A., Dallas.
Hey, what's going on, Mark?
What's up, Mark?
What's up, guys? Hey, so, I'm good. So I'm going to be flat out honest here. I mean, Adam Gase has completely fucking broken Sam Darnold.
Yep.
Like, and I mean, and his trade value is just going down and down and down every single week. Every single week.
Yeah,
and it's kind of sad.
If you watch the game last night with Baker and Lamar Jackson, or even the Sunday night game with Josh Allen, those are the examples right there of how you develop your young quarterbacks. Good coaches, even though the Browns didn't get it, they didn't get it correct right away. They eventually got it correct with Stefanski. They, prioritized weapons around Baker Mayfield. Baltimore adjust their system to what Lamar Jackson does well. They let him run around a lot. Same thing with Buffalo, letting Josh Allen run. I mean, that's how you build around your quarterback. You get him a coach, you get him an offensive line, you get him talent, and you cater the system to what they do well. And the Jets have just done the total opposite with Sam.
Yeah, 100%. And, it's kind of sad when Sam is out there with that performance as bad as he did on Sunday, and the Seahawks, the weakness of their team right now is their defense. It sucks. It's probably like bottom of the league. That's how bad their defense sucks. And Sam can't even throw for a touchdown against like a 30th ranked defense. I mean,
you think that would be the game, right? Where they would open things up a little bit, let him throw the ball around. But yeah,
when you have,
he
doesn't at all. And then when you look around the NFL, and even like Drew Lock is doing better than Sam. I mean, come on now.
Every quarterback in the league is doing better than Sam. Because every quarterback is in a better situation than what Sam is in.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I totally agree. I mean, they haven't built around Sam at all. Like, they haven't done it. Like, he has, like, I mean, but, I mean, it starts with the coach. And I cannot wait till this season is over. I can't wait till Black Monday when they fire Gase. And I want to see them bring in a well-respected. I mean,
who's at the top of your list?
100% at the top of my list. I want Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs.
Okay, so you're not turned off by some of the red flags that have, I guess, been reported with him in the interview process and all that.
I mean, I just think that, I mean, Bieniemy gets on his players. You see it on the Kansas City sideline. He takes everything into what's the word from it, like, in an aspect, I guess. I mean, like, he holds players accountable. Like, he even holds, like, the veteran players accountable. He holds Kelsey accountable. He holds Mahomes, everybody. I mean, but, I mean,
yeah, I mean,
somebody
what you see on TV, I mean, I would agree with you. Like, that was my initial first reaction, and then I think it was Albert Breer who put out the report a couple weeks ago that I guess during, some of the interviews that he's had, he hasn't interviewed well. I guess it comes off like, I guess he might be a product of Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes more so than, I guess, him being the imaginative play caller that he's portrayed to be. So I don't really know. I mean, I get the same impressions that you do. He would still be near the top of my list, but taking him over, a Harbaugh or a Cowher or somebody proven like that, I still think would be a mistake.
I would take Cowher for a couple of years if he's really interested. I mean, he has the pedigree, Steelers, and his coaching pedigree. I mean, I would take him. I don't know how comfortable I would feel with taking with going after Harbaugh, considering his demise now at Michigan these last couple of years. But I mean, I would go. I would feel okay with Cowher.
Do you have a preference between college coach, coordinator, or proven former NFL coach?
I mean, if we can, it just depends really. I mean, like if we can get I'm just going to throw a name out there. I mean, what about, like, for example, I know I've heard people talk about, like, Marvin Lewis lately. I mean, like, how do you guys feel about him?
No thanks. Defensive coordinator would be fine, but, going back to him as head coach, 0-7 in the playoffs, no thank you.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I know a lot of people also hype up Joe Brady, but, I mean, this is his first year in the league, so I wouldn't be going for that, honestly.
Yeah, I think Joe Brady is too big of a gamble for them. Yeah, 31 years old.
He's like 30. Yeah, you're talking about a 31-year-old coach coming into a team that's got no identity, no culture, and all this pressure to improve immediately with a young quarterback. That's a tough spot for Joe Brady, man. That's a really tough spot.
Yeah. Yep. And I think if you're going to go defense, I mean, the guys probably at the top of the list are either Dable from Buffalo or Saleh from the 49ers. I mean, that's
Dable's an offensive guy.
There's no point
in
defense, though, man. We definitely need to offer somebody the head coach.
Trying to think. Oh yeah, that's true.
To be honest with you, we really need a head coach that can coach offense and defense.
Yep,
a CEO type, dude. You need a guy that can look over. He has an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator. He oversees everything. He knows everything that's going on. He has a feel for everything, and he lets the coaches coach, and he manages the game. That's what we need.
Cowher. We need a guy like Cowher. Absolutely.
Yep, that's it. Mark, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
have a good night, bro.
Good talking, Mark.
Got John in Lakehurst. John, what's up, man?
What's going on, John?
How's everybody doing? All right?
Hanging in there, man. What's on your mind?
Just the whole coaching thing. I think the Cowher thing's the first thing I've been excited about since, like, I don't know, getting Joe Douglas, which I believe in Joe Douglas. I know everybody's saying that he hasn't done much, but I think this free agency that he had, he was kind of working with what he was able to do. And I think we were going after, like, Thuney, but we couldn't get Thuney because they franchise tagged him, and then he just didn't want to. I don't think we were going after Conklin. I think we should have got Conklin, but I think that we were going after Thuney. That was going to be a big signing. And then with the whole Robbie Anderson thing, I don't know. I always listen to you guys. Your live streams are great, all that. But I remember last year when we were all talking about that, and we all thought, like, Robbie was going to command a lot of money, and nobody really wanted to pay him like that. And I think that was partially also, like, Robbie leaving was due to Gase, because if you remember last year, like, they were using Robbie different. They weren't, like, working to his strengths. Like, it just seems like Gase slowly did that with, like, the whole team, and that's why we're playing like shit right now. Like, he just doesn't let any play, like, Sam rolls out and does all that good and makes magic happen when Gase's play breaks down. Other than that, he doesn't go to anybody's strengths. He just a square into a circle, like, and he just keeps doing it over and over again, and that's why, like, we're at where we're at. But that was my thoughts on that.
The Robbie Anderson situation was fascinating because, like you said, I mean, his greatest asset is his ability to track down the deep ball. I mean, that's what he does better than anybody, beating the top off the defense. And they just never gave him a whole lot of opportunities to do that. I understand, like, Gase was getting some praise, I think, towards the end of the year that, Robbie Anderson's, developing his route tree and stuff like that, which, I mean, to a certain extent was okay. He's going over the middle a little bit more. But still, there were so many games in the second half of the year where he was just invisible. And so I think we all thought the ceiling for him was like a number two wideout. And the contract that he got would say, hey, you pay him that to keep a young wide receiver with your young quarterback. But of course, we chose to go with Perriman, and that's been a disaster.
But like we don't know what went on behind closed doors with that. Like, he might have taken that contract because it was a shorter contract, and he was getting to play with a coach that he wanted to play with. But the whole thing was the deep ball. In the second half of the season, it was like some games you're like, is he even on the field? Because he's just like, we're not throwing to him, or he's not open, or it was like he wasn't there. And then as far as like the not believing in the Joe Douglas thing, I feel like Joe Douglas got like, and I liked McCagnon also when we first got him with that whole 10-5 year, and and Fitzmagic and all that, but then it was like his drafting was just so terrible. So like Joe Douglas walked into like a pile of shit, and then we didn't have a lot of cap room this past year, and the free agency market was like, I don't know if you guys can think of anybody that you wanted, but we were saying like Taylor Gabriel and stuff like that. But that
wanted
he's
Logan Ryan.
going to be 30. Logan Ryan. I wanted who was that linebacker on the Giants? And then
Marcus
we
Golden?
just wouldn't sign him. And Tyson.
Yeah,
Remember
Tyson
you
wanted
wanted him? Like
Golden, Golden. Hell yeah.
Who did he just rock somebody that this past weekend?
He had a strip sack the other night.
Yeah,
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, so it's it was. That's what it was. I heard his name. I wasn't watching the TV, but I was watching the NFL Network. But I think if we go with like, if Carroll would take don't you remember like back in the day him grabbing guys' helmets, screaming in their face? Like I think we need a little bit of that, and not like this whole like we had a good practice or watching the fucking film again. Like I'm just tired of that shit. And then I was tired. Like Todd Bowles was nice and all like that, but like I don't think he was what we needed either. And it just I don't know. And then like everybody I talked to about it, they're like, oh, Hardball sucks in Michigan, but I think he was a better NFL. I don't know. A lot of the other podcasts and stuff thinks that like he'll wear thin over like 2 years because of how he coaches.
but John, you know what the thing is though? Like, who is he going to wear thin with? What, the media? Is it? Listen, if you clean up the culture of this team and you start getting discipline and getting a stout defense and all this positive, you're winning games. I don't care who he wears thins with as long as he wins. Like, we're at rock bottom, dude. Like, you're going to need it. Like you said, you need an ass kicker to come in here now. Like, we need somebody to say, you know what? This is our new standard here. Everybody has to follow it. If you don't, you're fucking out of here. Like, right now, under Adam Gase, we watched Pierre Desir play like shit for how many weeks, never got benched. We watched Nathan Shepard commit a personal foul. He thought he was getting benched. They put him back on the field. Like, we've seen so much incompetence and so much bullshit here. You need a guy that comes in almost like Joe Judge did with the Giants. He came in and said, listen, like, this is my way or the highway. You need like an enforcer now.
Right.
You have to.
Yeah,
we have no
he
choice
benched,
now.
What's his name? Tate with all that shit.
Yep, Golden
he
Tate,
made him sit out.
a veteran receiver. Absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely need somebody like that because I like the hardball idea. Like before the whole Cowher thing, I mean, the Cowher thing just really excites me because he's just like a staple, and like I think if we get him like you say, Tyson, he'll just like it'll command respect right off the bat, like the media with everybody. So we'll get away from like all the happy horse shit that normally goes and surrounds the team, and then we'll be able to like take steps forward.
But the other thing too, right now, with say if you hire a first-time head coach, you may have to pay a Jets tax to get players to come here. They may say, hey, you know what, first-time head coach, I'm not really sure to expect. You bring in a Harbaugh or a Bill Cowher, guys are going to want to play for him. Like you bring in Bill Cowher, free agents will come to the Jets, and I'm not going to try to rob us blind with the Jets tax because, hey, you know what, this guy I know is legitimate. He's a winning coach. He's going to have a winning program. That's gonna pay so much dividends, dude.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's like more important. Like the free agency is important because we do have to. I know you built the team through the draft and everything, but the predicament we're in, we're going to have to bring in like top free agents, especially like I really think we should just focus on the offensive line. I think we should keep McGovern. I don't know why he's not playing as well. He was like a top 10 center last year, and it's just like he's not playing great here. I don't know if that's because there's so many new parts on the line, and he's used to the guys he had in Denver. But I think
the
like
offensive
saying,
line coach sucks.
Yeah, that was another thing. Why didn't we fire that dude? But they fired Greg Williams. There's just so much shit, and then that's what makes me think like, are they going to bring Gase back? Because it's like Gase acts like he still don't. If you watch like his older press conferences and shit, it's like nothing's changed. Like he doesn't act like somebody that's on a hot seat or knows they're going to get fired.
I mean,
he acts.
If we're being I think 2 weeks ago he finally admitted defeat. I think he finally said, you know what, I failed Sam Darnold. The offense isn't where it's supposed to be. I think 2 weeks ago he read the writing on the wall and said, I think he knows he's a dead man walking. So I think we're there. But I think a lot of the questions you're asking are fair. Like, you know, like what is this offensive line should not be this bad, especially against bad defenses. And to me, it's like They did the same thing last year. They brought the offensive line coach back, which blows my mind to this day. So now it's like if you like, you know, and there's all you get Bill Callahan out there at one point. You could have hired him. So hopefully the new coach comes in and does that.
Underlining shit like Dow Loggins is calling the fucking plays, Gase is calling the plays, and then it's like Darnold's playing so bad, but I don't even think that's on Darnold because like I think Darnold's playing hurt because in the beginning of the year, we were losing, but it was like Darnold had a little fire and a little grit to him. It looked like he was pissed off. That's why he started running the ball and shit like that. Like fuck the play, I'm gonna get what I can get out of the play, but now it's. Like and it's all. I think it's the fucking the play calling. Like you said, we get 100 yards with Ty Johnson. Why now then you play a better team and you run fucking Frank Gore again? Like I feel like following Frank Gore and like giving him a calf cramp so like he can't come out to play the game. It's just like ridiculous that we keep. I'm fucking 37. Give me the motherfucking ball. Like that's so crazy. I hate it. But it's every week. And I'm like doing shots. I do the same thing you guys do. I'm like, all right, everybody take a shot. As soon as Frank Gore runs the ball, you're fucking hammered an hour into the game. And then it's like,
you ain't kidding.
I don't even want to watch this shit. Then I got my daughter. She's 5. She's laughing at me because I'm screaming at the TV still. Like it just sucks, man. And then New Jerseys. And we're not gonna have nobody left that was in that whole jersey reveal. And man, it's just such bullshit. Like the team owes the fans to bring in somebody like Cowher because we are loyal fans and we sucked for so long and it fucking sucks to suck and then it's like you're always losing even when 4-12 all that shit with Bowles like that was terrible too, man. And the Buster Screen shit, whoever said to bring him back on the live chat is like fucking that dude sucked. I hated that guy. And they all suck. The receivers, everybody sucks. All right, love you.
Phenomenal call, John.
Have a good
Great
night,
call,
bro.
Good talking to you.
Josh, I'm 37. Give me the fucking ball. I can run it. Wow.
But one thing I want to say is, I'm sure you said it earlier, but thank you to everybody that joined our live stream. Tyrone, our live stream on Sunday was off the rails, man. Absolute insanity.
I mean, you know, that's the kind of product you guys put on every week, man. That fucking Jets bingo game, man. That's all everyone talks about, bro. That's all
it's
I
dangerous.
hear, bro. Yo, he's absolutely. Listen, especially when you let in prime time put Frank Gore run on first and second, bro. Tyson, he's setting you up for failure, man. Hey, listen,
dude.
You know what I'm about to send you guys? I'm about to send both of you guys, man, 5 cases of water. You need to drink some fucking water, bro. Let your livers have
nobody
a
likes
break, bro.
Nobody likes a quitter, man. Nobody likes a quitter.
Hey, listen. If you have to drink every time Frank Gore runs, man, you're gonna lose, bro. You're gonna lose,
bro. Dude, Tyrone, I'm not gonna lie. The last couple of weeks have been rough, man. I'm looking like, especially this last Sunday, dude. That game lasted so damn long, like. We were like, I was like 6 Trulies in. It was like the middle of the second quarter. I'm like, what the fuck? It was terrible, man.
My question is, how are you guys making it to work on Monday morning? Like, I just know, like,
question.
Tyson, Tyson texts me every Monday, bro. Like, hella early. Like, bro, you've been drinking all day. Like, how the fuck are you up? Like, yo, how you doing, bro? Gotta believe to achieve, my friend.
But Tyrone, we got a couple minutes left. What are your words of wisdom? What are your parting shots for this Tuesday night in December?
I just want to say this, man. You know, first of all, I love you guys. Everyone be safe. And you know, like I said, man, let's hope for 0-16. Let's hit the bottom and come back up. I mean, it's been a hard ride. It's been a hard run. It's been a hard season. That last week game really took a lot out of us, but you know, we Jet fans through and true, and we're gonna love this team until the end. So let's hope for success.
Mr. Primetime?
I'm going to echo what the last couple callers said and say that the Jets owe their fan base big time with this next coaching hire. We are the most loyal motherfuckers on the planet. The shit that they have done to us the last 10 years between PSLs and a poor product, I mean, they have taken advantage of the fan base every which way. They owe us this. Open up the checkbook. Get Bill Cowher here. Secure the tank first. And let's take off.
I'm just blessed to be a part of a podcast with Primetime in Hollywood, man. I'm just blessed, and then I want to be really blessed if you give me Bill Cowher, and then I'll just be out of my mind because then it'll be awesome. So, But again, 8:00 Friday night. So, Tyrone, when are you coming on the live stream with us, dude? Let's get to this now. When are you coming on the live stream with us?
Well, you know I work during the week, so you know what I mean. It's kind of hard, man. This Sunday, man. Normally I'm working on Sundays. I was actually off last Sunday.
Tell us how much. Let your agent know. They'll hook up with our people.
He's pulling. What about Friday night? What about Friday night?
I'll be driving there. But listen, I'm going to be on one soon because
man, what's the price? What's the price? What's the number? Just tell us the number. What's the number?
Hey, prime time. Tyson just sent me some extra, so I'm going to shut up for a while. I'm good, but that last check was beautiful, baby. I don't know if that was my bonus or what, but I'm thankful and I'm grateful. So, listen, I already told him I got to do like 5. Absolutely. I'm good for 5. I'm good for 5 podcasts, bro. I'm good.
You know your damn
I'm in the book.
And shut
Absolutely.
your damn mouth.
Jabroni.
Yo, I'm gonna be on with you guys, man. Hey, listen, I love what you guys are doing, man, and I love what you guys are doing, man. Like I said, man, nobody's doing what you guys are doing. Y'all guys are fucking absolutely crazy as shit, you know. And everyone loves this show, bro, because it's what we do, bro. It's like it's not even about X and O's, it's just having fun, talking Jets, talking shit, and being real. You know what I'm saying? Just telling the truth.
Waffles.
Yo, no waffles over here. Hey, your boy Steve he was getting a little aggressive tonight, bro. What's going on, Steve?
You reacted, and he got you. You reacted to it. He got you mad. He broke you. You gotta be a rock, man.
Hey, man, I wasn't mad, bro, but
you got mad. Tyrone got mad.
Hey, look. Hey, I'm still learning, bro. I'm still learning.
All right, we got to wrap this up. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll talk to you guys Friday, Sunday, and next Tuesday. See you guys.
Hey, bro. Love you guys. Have a good one, man.